everyone, welcome back to the Vulture Culture Podcast, the only podcast where you can throw your toys and they'd actually still be alive and probably kill you. I am your host, Evil Spirit, but I am not alone. I am also here with RoxyReviews, Sirsplaysalot, and a very special guest, Gaming Magic 13. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Hello.
Hey, howdy, hey, everybody.
Roxy, you're supposed to say hi.
Roxy
just
sorry, I didn't realize.
Good.
That's right. I'm like, I can't believe this is actually happening. I'm just so excited.
Yes.
Hey, listen, you don't exactly have to twist my arm to get me to talk about Toy Story. I don't know if you've noticed. It's not. I don't require any extra incentive to talk about that for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
No, I mean, two of your series are Toy Story related.
Yeah, and this is your chance to talk about Toy Story 1 in a long thing that isn't just like a really edited video that takes a lot of time to make.
Yeah, we could just sit here and talk about today's topic, Toy Story 1, which the Wikipedia page describes as a 1995 American animated adventure comedy film produced by animated studio Pixar for Walt Disney Pictures. It is the first installment in the Toy Story franchise, who would have guessed, and the first entirely computer animated feature film, as well as the first feature film from Pixar. The film was directed by John Lasseter, written by Josh Whedon, Andrew Stanton, Joel Cohen, and Alec Sokolow. Based on a story by Lasseter, Stanton, Pete Docter, and John Raft, R-A-N-F-T. Produced by
Joe Ranft.
Joe Ranft.
Okay. Produced by Bonnie Arnold and Ralph
Guggenheimer.
Yeah, as you can tell, I cannot read.
Aren't you already glad you brought me on? Just if for no other reason than just to pronounce.
Yeah, this is perfect.
I've heard these names. I've already heard these names too many times listening to the behind-the-scenes stuff over and over again.
Yeah, and features the voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Annie Paz, John Ratzenberger, Don Rickles, Wallace Shawn, and Jimmy Varney. Don Rickles sound way too close to Don Pickles, and I just find that hilarious. Okay, it's the first time that I think this is the first time we're talking about another animated movie since, what else?
This is the first standalone Pixar episode since last time we talked about it was in top 5 sequels.
Yeah, we talked about Toy Story 2 there.
And 3.
Yeah, and 3. Yeah, we talked about both of them. It's kind of crazy to think about, because like when we do these episodes, it's normally what have we been talking about for like the last few days? We've been talking about villains and shit, and I don't think, actually no, I'm not
Sharknado.
Oh yeah, and Sharknado. Yeah, Trevor, you should have been there for that one. That one was great. I totally didn't want to just skin Roxy alive.
Oh my god. Well, how can you do that when she's male?
I hope to live a happy life having never been exposed to Sharknado. I'm good, thanks. I'm happy with the shark. The shark, the little shark guy in Toy Story is the only shark I need. He's cool. He's honestly, the shark needs his own spin-off Disney Plus series. Just Tim instead of 40.
Hey, what if it's just Woody's Roundup, but with the shark instead? He goes, "Hi, I'm Woody."
Howdy.
Yeah, this is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
You know how they do the thing, or they did the thing for Frozen, where they had Olaf just retell a bunch of Disney movies as Olaf? They should do that, but with the shark. Just have him impersonate different Disney characters.
Or Pixar movies, just have him be just like
Finding Nemo, and it's like, why trust a shark? Dude, I am a shark.
Yeah, exactly. You should always trust a shark. This is, but yeah, I feel like this is like the first time we're talking about like an animated movie in a while. Because like we talked about, I think like obviously we talked about Shrek, we talked about, I think that's really it. I think Shrek, CG movie. I guess
Shrek.
Count Sharknado, I guess. Like we're gonna.
And funnily enough, Sharknado has worse looking animation than Toy Story.
Okay, well,
which is Amazing.
Well, I don't want to get off too much of the topic, so let's mosey on down to our first time ever watching it, aka what I call our first thoughts, and just watching the movie for the first time. I think it's only fair to start with Trevor since he's our guest. Then we'll go to Roxy. Then we'll go to Sir. Then we'll loop back around to me. So, Trevor, how did you watch Toy Story 1?
Well, if you've seen my Toy Story 3 series, you probably have some idea of what my experience is with this franchise and how I discovered it. I have no way of verifying this because I would have been at an age where I wasn't able to form any kind of cognitive words, memories, or really even thoughts. But even if it wasn't the first movie that I ever watched, it was certainly among the first, not even movies, just first pieces of media that I'd ever been exposed to in my life. Because the Cliff Notes, as little bit of depressing as I can possibly make this, the first few years of my life were mostly spent in hospitals, so I didn't really I wasn't exposed to a whole lot of movies or shows or video games growing up, but I was exposed to Toy Story because they had Toy Story 2 on VHS in the hospital that you could rent, and that was what I would keep watching ad nauseum while different tests were happening, different doctors are coming in and out of the room. That was what I had. That was my thing to hold on to. And so, I wasn't alive in 1995, so I don't know what it was like to go to the El Capitan Theater and see this giant new form of art up on the world that nobody had ever seen before. Nobody had ever seen anything even remotely close to it before. So I don't know what it's like to live through that hype and see how the movie changed the world and the animation industry for the better. But as far as I'm concerned, it still changed my world forever, and I will always remember Toy Story for how it changed my life back then, and just giving me some light in the darkness to hold on to while everything else was kind of crappy. Wait, can I swear? What's the swear limit on this podcast before I go to?
You can say whatever you want. I mean, just as long as it's not, the most screwed up. I mean, to be fair, we have Roxy on here, and Roxy says the most degenerate shit you can imagine. So you're pretty much you're okay to say whatever you want. You can cuss all you want. It's no big deal.
Okay, cool. I can say the fuck. Cool.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and even back then it was changing my life, and then even still to this day, the ripple effect that Toy Story as a movie has had on my life is kind of unbelievable, because I wouldn't even be talking to you right now were it not for Toy Story, because that the Toy Story 4 series taking off the way that it did is what ultimately led to the creation of my Discord server and this huge community. And yeah, it's kind of amazing to think how much that movie affected the broad world and then even just my personal world. Yeah. So I guess that would be my experience with Toy Story.
So if you don't mind, real quick, so your first time ever watching it was in a hospital.
Yeah, on the VHS my parents would go get. I don't even know if they just went and got the movie because they were alive for when Toy Story came out, so they were there, and they told me stories about how it was impossible to get tickets for this thing. You had the same degree to which famous pop stars would sell out concerts 5 seconds after tickets went on sale. It was that kind of thing, apparently, for the first Toy Story. You had to fight to get a ticket in to see this movie. So they lived through that. So I don't know if they took me into the room where all the VHS tapes were available for rental at the hospital, and I just pick something out. It probably wasn't that, because I probably would have been far too young to even know what I was looking at. But I'm pretty sure they just said, "Hey, I saw this. I think you might like this. It's rented, bring it into the room, and then we'll pop it into because all the rooms, at least at the children's hospital that I had, they had VHS players that you could pop the things into and watch." So yeah, my first time watching it was on the hospital TV, and then after I was released from the hospital, they got the VHS for our home, and we would watch that all the time. When we eventually got the DVD, and then I would play that in the back of the car on the little DVD player we had attached to the ceiling. Basically, any way I could possibly have seen Toy Story, I've seen it. I saw the 3D re-release. I saw it like I said on my Toy Story 3 series, I've seen it in the back of the car, I've seen it on an airplane, I've seen it in a movie theater, I've seen it in the home, I've seen it in the hospital. The only medium I think I haven't seen it in yet is a drive-in. I think that's pretty much it. That's the limit as far as how I could have watched this movie.
I'll fly you out to where I live.
Maybe.
I'll fly you out to where I live. They show old movies all the time at my local.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just showed.
They're still around?
Yeah. My little town. Not going to say it because I'm not doxing myself, but in my little town we have they showed off both Freaky Friday and Freakier Friday. At the drive-in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
I have it on the top of my bucket list to watch a movie at a drive-in theater.
I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen a movie at a drive-in theater. Unfortunately, it was The Good Dinosaur.
Oh no.
Well, you said it was impossible to get Toy Story tickets. I'm just imagining the way, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to get a ticket to the first Toy Story movie.
All right. Well, I guess we shall move on to Roxy. Oh, sorry. You have anything else to say? Sorry.
I was just gonna say to answer your question more directly. Yeah, my first time watching it was in a hospital.
Okay. All right, Roxy, what was your first experience with Toy Story 1?
I think, yeah, like Trevor, it must have been too early in my life because I don't remember specifically watching it. But as my earliest memory with the series is, I know that I had already seen the first one when Toy Story 3 came out. I actually didn't see Toy Story 2 until I was 10, I think. But I know I saw 3 in theaters because one of my earliest childhood memories was it was precisely the scene where Lotso doesn't push the button and then goes, "Where's your kid now, Sheriff?" That part. That must have scarred me or something because I distinctly remember that. The whole incinerator scene, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing definitely scarred one of my little sisters, as she still refuses to watch Toy Story 3 to this day.
Yeah. So, is there anything else?
But you know what is kind of funny? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what is kind of funny is when I finally did watch Toy Story 2 several years later, I was like, wait. I was it was like some sort of brain blasting. I literally hadn't noticed that Jessie and Bullseye weren't in the cast from the beginning. That's how naturally they fit in.
Yeah. Okay, sir, do you wanna give us your story?
You want me to give you my Toy Story?
But
Well, the title is a pun off of Toy Story, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. They originally, Disney really didn't like the title. They thought it sounded too much like they thought for a lot of elements of Toy Story. They thought it sounded too juvenile, that no one will want to go see a movie called Toy Story. So Pixar was beating themselves up trying to find another title that would fit better, but they couldn't think of one that sold in one brief phrase what the tone of the movie and what the identity of the movie was going to be. So it was one of the Pixar crew's kids. He was lamenting about this whole problem they were having about trying to find a new title, and the kid just asked, "What's wrong with Toy Story?" And he said, "Well, Disney doesn't think anyone would want to see a movie. Like, teenagers and adults wouldn't go see one called Toy Story." And the kid just rolled his eyes, and he said, and then the parent asked, "Well, would you go see a movie if it was called Toy Story?" And he replied, "Yeah, if it was good." And then from that point on, that was it. That locked in the title of Toy Story. There was never a conversation that happened after that point. That was it. We've decided. There's no more conversation to be had.
I can imagine it with a different title. What else would you call it? Fucking Cowboy Doll Mutiny?
Cowboy Doll
One of the original titles was.
You Are a Toy was the main one that they were looking at.
I know one of the other titles was Toys in the Hood. I was like, oh.
Toys in the Hood? That's
what the
still a pun, and it doesn't even make sense for the movie.
Why would that be your? Okay, we can't call it Toy Story. Toys in the Hood.
Oh, now we have to title this video.
No.
Gaming Magic 13.
Oh goodness me.
Anyways, to my story. Okay. I forgot. Okay. Actually, yeah. I think it was either on VHS or the 10-year anniversary edition that my mom bought me. Either way, I don't remember much of it. Though I did rewatch it years later when the trailers for Toy Story 3 came out, and so my mom got me the special, or was it some type of new edition that had a preview for Toy Story 3 in it, or for the first two movies. And at that point, I practically became obsessed with Toy Story for like a good year or two. I had a poster, I bought all the toys, got the Lego set. I got these like weird minifigure things. Does anyone else remember these? I'm gonna send a picture. 'Cause I don't know anyone else who owned them.
Yep, I had some
McDonald's toys.
Oh wow.
Let me take.
Yeah, and I even owned a set that had.
Oh yeah.
Had those like you could fold it and it's like reenact the first movie with Andy's Room, Pizza Planet, and Sid's house.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. I got that for Christmas one year. I know exactly what you're referring to. I can see that very vividly. I can see that in my mind.
Yeah, same here. Those were so much fun, but yeah, that's my history with the first Toy Story movie, and watching it again years later made me obsessed with the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to Caroline.
Okay, so this is. So I think everybody here never, like, including me, I never watched Toy Story in theaters. Toy Story 1, 2. I don't even remember if I think I seen 3 in theaters, but I was really young. My parents both really liked animated movies. They went to go see Ice Age, like when it came out at the local drive-in. They went to go see that. They went to go see a lot of other movies, but Toy Story was like the one that they watched. And my grandma had VHS tapes in her downstairs computer room, and it was more of an office, not a computer room. But yeah, I watched Toy Story 1, I believe, at my grandparents'. It could be anywhere at this point. It could be like I could have watched it on the moon, and I can't remember. But anyway, so I watched Toy Story 1. I watched Toy Story 1, and I thought, oh yeah, I liked it. I watched Toy Story 2, loved that movie. I'm trying to remember, was there anything like very big that happened? I think when we were moving from, this was a long time ago, and I don't remember it, but I think that's when I first watched it. It was probably up there, up in my old house, like 18 years ago. I don't know, I don't remember it, but I think that's when I watched it. But yeah, then I watched Toy Story 2 probably right after or something. Then I watched Toy Story 3 in theaters. Then I watched Toy Story 4 also in theaters with my parents. And basically, I always had a soft spot for this franchise. It was never my favorite Pixar franchise, because Incredibles, and I always loved The Incredibles. But yeah, everything basically after that. I mean, gosh, it's so weird to bring up because my grandma loved Disney and Pixar so much. We went to Disney World. I saw a lot of characters, and that's basically my experience with the first movie. I don't have like a whole lot to say because I have more of a deeper connection with with 2 and 3 than I do with 1, but I still like 1. So, alrighty, y'all. I think what we should first talk about is what do we think about the plot of the movie. This will just kind of be free roam discussion. The ball's in your court, Gaming Magic, Trevor. Ball's in your court. Go ahead. What do you think of the plot?
I'd say it's mostly pretty tight. The only, as far as the plot is concerned, the only real blind spot there is the gas station scene, where inexplicably they make a whole deal about how they're gonna go pump the gas, and then they do not, in fact, pump the gas, and then they just leave. It's very strange, very funny.
Maybe they discovered crystallic fusion and it got teleported into the car or something.
Totally.
Speaking of teleporting, the only problem I have with that scene is when the truck is coming in, when he just lies down and then later he teleports to like in front of the second set of wheels.
Yeah, they show the truck coming towards him, and then the next shot, one of the sets of wheels has already crossed over him, so he's between them. So that they prevented him from ever being flattened by any of the tires. Very strange.
Very strange indeed. I didn't really pick up on it.
Yeah, see, it all makes sense. The gas station is so advanced it can teleport things all over the place.
I think
the interesting thing about... You can go.
Oh, I was just going to bring up one of my favorite things about the movie were, like, the beginning moments. Seeing how everything operated, but you go ahead. you go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, it's all good. The opening scene is definitely it has to do a lot very quickly to sell you on this world and just the vibe of Andy's room, and it's kind of crazy how much happens in like that scene where the army men carry the baby monitor down the stairs. That scene just embodies what Toy Story is. The tone, the aesthetics, everything about it can be encapsulated in that one sequence. Like, you watch that, you get Toy Story. You get what they're going for. And it's doing so much. It's giving you a nice bit of action right at the beginning, showing them going on this mission. It's a little bit of humor as you see, like, this... Well, what would, for any other human, be the most basic of tasks, just going down the stairs. It's a whole epic quest across the house for these guys. You have a little bit of comedic moments in how the one guy gets stepped on by Andy's mom, and then it's like, go on without me, just go, a good soldier never leaves a man behind, which is funny. It gives you a little bit of Toy Story humor out of the gate, but also kind of sets up the overarching themes of the story of what Woody does later. A good soldier never leaves a man behind. He won't leave Buzz behind. When he has the chance to go back with Andy and just kind of leave him at the fence, he doesn't. When he has the chance to just go back to the moving van and let him get blown to bits, he doesn't. So even in the beginning, you're doing so much in one big scene. You have the humor, you have the action, you have Randy Newman's score carrying you through all of it, and you even have little bits and pieces of character development and character arcs being laid in the foundations of those early moments.
Yeah.
All while getting you on board with Andy and Woody's relationship, the dynamic of the toys, and the office workplace environment that they have, and it's so unique from what you might be expecting. It's like, what would a room of toys that come to life look like? What would they do? What would their everyday lives be like? And the unfathomable amount of creativity that is just bursting out of every frame of this movie, and how they would have even come up with, like, what would they do? They'd be like a little office worker. They treat this as their jobs. They treat this as their everyday jobs that they have to come in, and their job is to make the kid happy. And how can they optimize doing that? They got to make sure they're all in healthy condition. They have plastic corrosion awareness meetings. They freak out over birthday parties. The suspense that they all have. It's really, really, really creative. Everything that they do in that opening sequence to establish what the rules of this world are. And that's all before, by the way, Buzz Lightyear comes into the room. That's all before Buzz even shows up. And already they've done so much.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say.
Sorry, I wanted to say. Do you think that the there's no way they could have done this intentionally, but now that I think about it, the whole part with the soldier getting stepped on, and not leaving a man behind, better in hindsight after you've seen Toy Story 2, because that's what Buzz does after Woody's broken and gets stolen.
Yeah.
And there's tons of those little details throughout the trilogy that get better in retrospect. But even if you just want to limit it exclusively to Toy Story 1, that's what happens to Buzz, right? His arm breaks, and then Hannah gets stepped on, and then it sort of falls... Hannah steps on Buzz. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of falls to Woody to help him one, get his groove back, and two, help him out of the situation where he's about to get blown to bits. It's a really, really cohesive script, and I really don't think Toy Story's script gets the credit that it deserves, because, you know, it can be easy to talk about how the animation has aged, and I'm sure that we will discuss that at some point.
Yeah.
But you really analyze the script and what they're doing with these characters and how it's all plotted. It is tight as a drum. Because the other thing you got to keep in mind with the original Toy Story is that this technology was archaic. No one was doing any of this before. It would take an obscene amount of time to render even just a single frame of the animation, which is, you know, unheard of these days, because nowadays it takes seconds to render the same amount of stuff. But what that meant for the storytelling is that they didn't have any room to second guess themselves, and they didn't have any room for anything superfluous. They didn't have the time to render superfluous scenes that didn't add anything to the plot. If something was going into that movie, it had to be explicitly and inextricably connected to the character development or the progression of the story, because if it wasn't, then they would be wasting hours and hours and days of the computer's rendering time on something that doesn't help anything at all. So of all the Toy Story movies, you could probably say that the first one is the tightest. It has the clearest focus on what it's trying to do, what it's trying to say, what it's trying to be, because there is no room for error with trying to render so much, especially as you get towards the end, and you have this crazy, huge chase through the streets, and all these dynamic effects of rockets blowing up and soaring through the air. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and...
Is that why all the test animation... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Roxy.
Is that why all the test animation for the movie isn't rendered?
Yeah.
Well, what are you referring to? Would be my question.
I get
when I think of the test animation, I think of the one. I think of the one where Woody's like, "Hey, pal, what you doing? You know, Andy loves toys that can fly." And then he's.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking of that one too.
That one is rendered.
Oh, sorry.
Weird.
But
sorry.
No, actually, I'll save it for later, because if I go too far down this rabbit hole, we'll go down in talking about the animation and the text. So I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too sidetracked here.
Yeah. I was gonna.
I just want to.
Oh, go ahead, Roxy.
You go this time.
Okay. One of the things I thought was very interesting with like the beginning of the movie is that obviously this is the first, like as you said, this is the first time we're ever seeing these guys, so there is like a lot more to introduce. I'm kind of shocked they I'm glad they didn't, because I mean it, you know, it's kind of like when you go see a movie titled Toy Story, you kind of know in the back of your head these toys are going to be alive. They don't explain the sentience of how these guys work. They don't really need to. You just kind of get the impression that, okay, so in this world, toys exist, and they are their own fundamental being. The humans don't know anything about them, and like they don't have to like spell it out for you. It's like, hey, we gotta like they're like, we see them being played with, and then when Andy leaves and like he throws Woody on the couch, he gets up, and then you're like, okay, so he can't. You get that click in your mind of like, oh, he can't move around Andy, because if he does,
yeah,
well, Andy's not going to be very happy, because he's probably going to be like screaming to high heaven for obvious reasons.
It's gonna be as traumatized as Sid is by the end of the movie.
Yeah. and
consistently too, because it's just like toys and like decorations that are similar to toys, like Bo Peep and Toy Story, the lawn gnome that's mentioned. Those are all within the same sort of category. This isn't like I can't believe I'm going to mention this movie. This isn't like a soft party situation where it's all food and then whatever else the writers want to be alive for the sake of a joke in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the things I normally go about, like, what I normally think about when I'm like, okay, Toy Story and, like, what it does well is just kind of explaining everything in a matter of, like, a couple minutes. Of, like, you can't move in front of humans. If you move in front of humans, they'll be scarred. And, like, and it's not like, I think, like, wasn't it Game Theory that was like, oh, well, the reason why, like, or it wasn't Game Theory who said this. It was the reason why Forky freezes is because...
Theory.
is because like when there's a human being detected, when a human's being detected into the vicinity, they'll stop moving or something like that. And people were like, "Well, that's
Woody and Buzz literally move
yeah,
in the vicinity of human."
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't. That wouldn't make sense.
Like even in the same room.
Yeah.
In this movie, you can even see Slinky moving while he's asleep. Yet, technically, shouldn't that mean that if Andy woke up, he could literally just see it happening? I mean, he'd see it in the dark, so he'd probably just assume it's like some darkness obscuring your vision, messing it up, making it look like something's there that isn't. But you get what I mean.
Deltarune right there. Anyways,
that's not what I meant.
I know. I just had to mention Deltarune. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
What I really admire is that, since I grew up in the 2010s age where they would pick apart Disney movies all the time with not much backing up. One of them being how Buzz shouldn't be freezing since thinks he's a space ranger, which I would believe them, but then I started to think about it more, and I don't think I know until like Trevor pointed out in his commentary with FG is like, oh, that explanation makes sense. Same for the other reasons for why shouldn't they see them here? No, this plot is actually well put together. The more you think about it.
Yeah, because again, they
they knew what they were doing.
It's because he literally
cared about
was in hypersleep.
Details, these little situations of why they wouldn't notice, unlike in some other movies.
Yeah, we don't gotta talk about
that. But for this one, they did care.
Yeah, and I think it's just really good how it's segmented into like this like playtime, staff meeting, like the birthday party, like expose, like mission. Then it's like Buzz lands. Buzz is delusional, and I kind of like how all the toys just kind of go along with it. Like aside Woody, of course, but like everybody just kind of like, oh, you're from space. Well, I'm from Playtime, and it's like I'm from Mattel. And, it's like they just fully go with it. They're like, okay, sure. And you could probably say like, oh, they know that he's just delusional, and it's probably just a daily basis for every toy, is that they think there's something else. We even see that way more expanded upon in Toy Story 2. But, sorry, I just wanted to get that out of the way. It's a very good opening for what the rest of the movie has to offer.
And one more note I had is when you said the movie has to, like, the opening has to sell you on the premise. Keep in mind as well, given what this movie did for animation, it also needed to sell you on the animation and like show you the strengths of what it could do. When I rewatched it today, I actually noticed in that when I saw that shot where Andy like uses the chair to launch Woody, and it shows like the room in like a 3D rotating perspective, I was like, that was totally done to show the like what this animation is capable of, right?
Possibly.
I mean, even just down to Woody's plaid vest, or the Andy's Venetian blinds casting shadows, or Buzz's helmet. Like even just fundamentally the designs of Woody and Buzz, where Woody has his plaid vest and then Buzz has helmet reflections and decals on his suits. All that stuff are elements of the visuals that could only ever have been possible through computer imagery.
Yeah.
And it's something that Pixar had been trained for by making commercials and shorts. So they had all the experience necessary to pull this off. It was just on a scale far larger than they'd ever experienced before.
Yeah.
A lot of. But the other thing is that it's showing off what the technology can do, but not in a way that feels overt, right? Like there's really no
natural. Like even Andy, after he launches Woody, is like score or something. Like he said something along the lines of that. Like, yeah, it makes sense. He was just playing.
Oh!
Mm-hmm.
There's no shots in Toy Story that feel like they're trying to beat you over the head with, look how cool we are, look what these crazy things that we can do. it's more subtle things. Like I think the average person probably wouldn't even think about the fact that Woody has a plaid vest. But if you're in the animation industry, you're like, holy shit, how'd they do that? I've never seen that before. That's such a complicated. It's kind of the same thing with the carpet design in Aladdin. That's only possible through CG. They could never have individually drawn a texture and a pattern that complex by hand, frame by frame.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of things that impress you if you know the technology, and if you don't know the technology, it doesn't feel distracting. It's just like, oh, you're just watching a good story with great characters.
Yeah. And once we get into
I'm pretty sure probably when all of us. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna bring up one other thing, before, when you see because there's obviously times where you notice, but I think that the animation here, because someone brought it up to me. I have a cousin who's into who's going to college for a film degree, and he brought up how in animation, because he had to do Roxy, what is that style that they use a lot in Smiling Friends? They used it for that one episode with the scientist. I can't remember. Rotoscope, where it's
rotoscoping.
Yeah, it was rotoscope. They used digital rotoscoping, I think, for that.
Yeah, my friend was bringing up how with rotoscoping everything, you got to make sure that it looks right, because you can tell it's sloppy. Because when you bring something else in the frame, it kind of meshes with your body, and so on and so forth. And he brought up how when he tried getting into hand drawing animations, one of the inspirations was Aladdin, and he said he was trying to draw the carpet, trying to see if it would have been possible, and sadly not, because it's just way too complicated. So yeah, I just think with that, CG also being at a point where CG wasn't really a thing, now it's so easy. We can all use it in Blender's very accessible, and so on and so forth. I'm just saying, it's crazy how they could have done this back in 1995 while also still having...
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can finish your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's good that they did that while also supplementing it into CG, to animation, with Aladdin, with, they did it in another movie too. What's that movie called? There's another Disney one, I just can't remember. But, okay, go ahead, Trevor, sorry.
The Lion King?
Yes!
With
That's what it was.
The CGI... What's... Forgetting the names. Wildebeest.
Alright. Go ahead, Trevor, sorry.
Well,
I was just say, Toy Story is one of those films that people kind of take for granted how how good it is, and two, how influential it is. The advent of computer graphics is something that ripples through every single major form of visual media. It's the entertainment industry would be a wildly different place were it not for Toy Story coming out when it did.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of the most influential movies, I think. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Star Wars.
Yeah.
When I think of movies that changed a lot.
I mean, wasn't Jurassic Park also extremely influential as well? Maybe not to such a grandiose scale, yeah. I guess. Because I keep thinking oh yeah, a lot of people love Jurassic Park and consider it one of the best films ever created. But I was I can't remember if people would say it's as influential as Toy Story stuff. Because yeah, I mean, a lot of people do take for granted how much it impacted the industry, and we'll get to the impact as well, because there's so many movies that today, many people bring up and they're oh, the best animated movie of all time, this and that, probably couldn't have been done if Toy Story didn't come out. So back to the plot. So when we meet Buzz, I wanted to kind of touch on Buzz, because I know a lot of people have very mixed opinions on him nowadays, to an extent, as in he was always dumb or so on and so forth. But I
I can count the amount of times I've ran into commenters or people trying to debunk the TS4 rant, and specifically getting to Buzz and be like, "Oh, he was never a smart character. Look at the past movies; he's always dumb." He was never at all what you built him up to be.
It's really hard to change a person's worldview that's that ingrained. You can't, like, calling Buzz dumb for thinking he's a space ranger when he had no reason to not. I don't know, that'd be the equivalent of saying that just because you don't believe in another person's religion, that makes them an idiot, which isn't true.
It just speaks to a fundamental misunderstanding of what it means to actually be intelligent. It's the difference between being ignorant about something and being stupid about something. Yeah. You can be a very intelligent person operating with faulty information, or you can be an incredibly stupid person who has all the information necessary to make intelligent decisions, but you just can't. You do not know. You don't know how to think in that way. You don't know how to think outside the box or think creatively or use tools at your disposal to your advantage in situations. You don't know how to take information and turn it into something useful. And that is a clear, like, I think a lot of people just believe that, like, well, you know, it's funny watching Buzz think he's a space ranger and that he's so clueless as to the true nature of his world automatically discounts any actions he takes with the information he has access to, which, you know, is kind of unfortunate that people think so little of Buzz and that they are unable to see him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was even a scene that really frustrated me. Stick with me. It was in the Flash CW show, which is already not a good sign. No, like, a guy made like a helmet he could put on to make him super smart, okay? And he puts it on, and he's like, I'm gonna try to figure out the address of the villain that we need to find. And then he puts it on and is like, okay, I know where the address is. Dude, that's not what being smart is! You just conjured that information out of nowhere!
Yeah, I mean, because, like, you would, like, you can go up to a smart person and ask them, say, like, where is, let me think of an example. Where specifically is the White House? You can ask the smartest person that question, but if they don't know, like, if they just never, like, looked it up or, like, researched it or anything or went there themselves, they're not going to be able to tell you without looking it up. And then you're still, and then you go like, ooh, you're an idiot. You go tell that to a rocket scientist. It's like, you know, they're a rocket scientist. You know, it's like they're smart as fuck, but they're smart in that field. They're not going to be smart on every little thing.
Topic. Yeah, it might not even be a topic a person's interested in learning about, and in that case, why would they bother looking up the information?
Yeah.
And I will say that is something I've noticed a lot when I was in school, is that if you don't know something, I think it has to do with, at least when I was a kid, just other people wanting to feel superior to others whenever, at any possible opportunity. Because if you know a piece of information that someone else doesn't, that's like a win. You're already a step above someone else. Like, ooh, I know this thing. You don't know this thing. That means I can make fun of you for not knowing this thing, because, you know, everyone in high school is kind of, I don't want to say out to get each other, but there is a sense of, like, you're figuring out who you are. You're probably grappling with a lot of insecurity and self-doubt, and that can sometimes manifest itself in how you respond to people around you. And I do think for some people that it's just kind of too deeply ingrained into their way of life that, because through those kinds of experiences, that not knowing things is the determining factor for how intelligent somebody is, which is fundamentally depressing, just to think that some people view the world in that way.
Yeah.
Here's intelligence is like learning and stuff and being able to deal with stuff, but then people just think that it's a list of facts.
Yeah, because you could be smart on a lot of things. I mean, when I was in, when I was in high school, like, I was in a recent U.S. history class, and, like, there was things I knew, but then, like, someone would bring up, like, oh, do you think you're better than me? And it's like, no. It's like, oh, you brought this up. Can you beat me in a game of basketball? And it's like, no. Oh, obviously I'm more superior than you. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, that's not how that works. Look, man, just because I'm not good at basketball doesn't mean I can't.
The sad part is that exact conversation happened. Just change the words around as far as like exchange basketball for something else, and that exact conversation is something I've been privy to or been a part of many times when I was in high school.
Yeah, and it doesn't. You don't prove anything with that. You just it's like, oh, I can solve this quantum mechanics fucking thing on the whiteboard. Oh yeah, but how good are you at polo? Water polo. I don't fucking know. It's like I wouldn't know that.
I don't know.
How would I know?
I can clone a human being. That's cool and all, but how fast is your 100 meter?
and like with Buzz, it's like Buzz is smart. He is smart in this movie. I mean, he traversed Pizza Planet pretty well. I feel like we should just move on to characters other than plot. Would you all be alright with that? Should we just move on to characters, or do you guys have anything about the plot you want to bring up?
That's fine. Should we go from like side characters first, and then start to go into the more and more main characters? So like,
I'm fine with doing that.
Sure, Sid, Andy, Buzz, Woody, that sort of.
What's really interesting about the supporting characters in Toy Story is that you really don't see a whole lot. Kind of going back to what I was saying before about how they didn't have any time to input anything into the story that wasn't explicitly relevant to what the story was. So there's not a whole lot of scenes back in Andy's room. There really are. It's primarily focused on Woody and Buzz's journey going from Pizza Planet to Sid's house, and then ultimately back to Andy's van, going to the new house. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of interludes back at Andy's house with all the other toys, and it's remarkable that even in spite of that, you still love them so much, and people like grew to love characters such as Rex and Potato Head and Ham and Slinky so much that for Toy Story 2 they're like, okay, people love these guys, we're elevating their role, we're putting them into the spotlight, we're sending them on the main adventure with Buzz this time, because you really don't get that much of them. And not only do you not get a whole lot of time with them, but the time you do get with them is kind of hostile. They're not, because they think Woody's this vicious murderer who launched Buzz out the window and then also dismembered him, I guess. So they're really not particularly kind to Woody.
The only one who's really not... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go by all means. Build off of what I was saying.
I was just going to say, like, the only two that ain't really hostile, or the only three, really, is you got Bo Peep, who's like, Woody would never. You got Slink, is like, Woody would never. And then you got Rex, who's like, I don't fucking know if he would or not. I don't want to get in the middle.
It's only when they literally see Buzz's dismembered arm that they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, we're no longer with you on your side. Unsubscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's
Potato Head in particular is like an antagonist throughout most of the movie. Even when he's not like in direct opposition to Woody as like thinking he's a murderer and rounding up the other toys against him, he's still a fucking dick.
It's such a delicate tightrope walk to have characters be so hostile towards your protagonist, and yet you still kind of love them because, I don't know, he's funny. It's just, the first movie is such a riot. Potato Head especially is the root cause of so much comedy. Both comedy that will be understood and appreciated by kids, and some comedy that won't be understood by kids, but will certainly floor the adults in the room. And that kind of humor goes a long way for making you like these characters. Plus, they get along well. They bounce off each other. They're really, they're the kind of people you'd want to be around. And it also doesn't help. It helps that, they think Woody is actually, like, they think they're doing the right thing is the key part. They think that what they're doing is virtuous. And the instant they realize it's not, the instant they realize, oh shit, we fucked up real bad when we got rid of the Christmas lights. As soon as it happens, they're like, okay, how do we fix this? We gotta fix this. And they all leap into action to work together to try to get them back on that moving van. And that, I think, is a big reason why people love them so much, is when they're hostile, they're understandable, and they're funny, and they're engaging to watch. It's not like, they're not repulsive. They're not repellent. You don't watch them and think, because there are shows and movies I watch where a character is just so vile and so aggressive that you just want to punch them. Nothing about them is enjoyable to watch, but that's not the case with these guys.
Yeah, Byakuya, Togami.
Potato Head could have easily been like a Gaston-esque character. I mean, Gaston's still funny, so I don't actually know why I went with that comparison.
Well, they could have made him like a buck or something like that.
Oh, that's a good example.
But like an actually evil guy.
Yeah, just like an asshole who doesn't want to help him. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to defend the Gaston example a little bit, it is still kind of works because, it's, while Gaston is still quite funny, like, one of my favorites is when he's making fun of, they're making fun of Belle's father, and then as soon as he realizes that Belle's not on board with that, he's like, yeah, don't talk about father.
Yeah.
Smacks the throat.
Don't talk
That's
smack.
really funny. That's great.
Yeah.
But you still, like, you understand subconsciously, even if you acknowledge that Gaston is really funny, you're still like, yeah, he's kind of a dick, though. He's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, it's still like if I saw you, I'd splash water in your face.
Like, he's literally a stalker. And a home invader.
One thing that really got to my attention about Mr. Potato Head, like, because, what, like, I bet everybody experiences this. Like, when you're watching a movie with your parents, you kind of, like, pick a movie that, like, everybody would be in agreement to watch. My parents love Toy Story 1. I think they like Toy Story 1 more than any of them, which, understandable. They're more into, like, the funnier side of stuff to watch, for obvious reasons. That's just what a lot of people like. But, like, they love Toy Story 1. And, like, I was talking about rewatching it for this episode in particular, and my mom just quoted Mr. Potato Head going, like, who invited that kid? And she said that line always cracked her up. Because, like,
reminds me when...
Oh.
Yes, reminds me sometimes when I would watch this movie with my mom, her favorite line to quote would be near the climax, during the climax where Potato Head's like, toss them overboard! Like, she would love quoting that one.
The animation there is also just really cool. I like how his mouth, like, actually moves around in the environment with, like, his lip movements and stuff.
I like that each character's personality is tied to the type of toy that they are. Like, Potato Head... I mean, if you were Potato Head and all your body parts were constantly being detached and rearranged and tossed all over the place, wouldn't you be kind of resentful toward the world?
Yeah,
hate everyone
I'd be a
all
little
the time?
pissed off if my owner threw me into a baby crib and I get fucking drooled on.
More so than I already do.
Yeah.
Like, I would.
And of course, we have Slinky. Slinky, who's the stretchy dog who's loyal to Woody because he's a dog. Dogs are loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think Slinky's supposed to be...
Go ahead.
Is that right?
Wait, what?
You're kind of cut off.
Oh, sorry, I just said is Slinky... I almost said is Stinky. Is Stinky some... Fuck!
Is Slinky Dog actually Stinky Pete? Film theory?
Film theory. Slinky.
Oh my god. Now I actually want to make that video as a joke. But no, is Slinky supposed to be a bloodhound? Maybe a dachshund.
I think
it doesn't matter.
I think what they're really going for is that he's what are those dogs called? They're really long. Wiener dogs. I think that's what they're trying to go with there.
Yeah, dachshund.
A dachshund.
Yeah.
I don't know my dog breeds. I'm a cat person. Sorry.
There's the line from the Black Friday cut where Woody's like, "Who said your job was to think, Spring Wiener?"
Oh my god. We should talk about that at some point in the video because holy shit, this movie could have sucked.
Oh yeah. I'll put that.
What do you mean could have? They would have just canceled it right there if they had gone with it.
We'll talk about Black Friday reel in a bit.
A little later.
Yeah.
But I do want to say something else about Slinky, which is that there's this, because he is so loyal to Woody, it makes it the most heartbreaking when they all genuinely believe, because he's trying to stick by Woody the whole time until he sees Buzz's dismembered arm, at which point he has nowhere to run. He has to accept that, oh, I was wrong the whole time. I the person I thought I knew isn't, I was totally wrong about him. And it's just this heartbreaking moment where his whole world just crushes down, and he somberly closes the blinds, and his face is just destroyed. And then inversely, when he realizes that Woody was telling the truth, he is the one who is the most heroic. He throws himself down close to the road and stretches himself to the absolute limit, trying to make up for, because he takes that betrayal most strongly to the chest because he was the one who was closest to Woody. And that kind of attention to detail and those little moments, brief as they may be, go a long way to making the cast as memorable and beloved as they are, and giving them the room to really run off and go do even better things in the sequels.
Yeah,
I'd like to mention from an animation perspective, that's actually a really nice detail. Like, the face that Slinky makes when he like shuts the blinds. Like, once again, I've been around dogs a lot because my family has them. I'm allergic to them. I don't really like being around dogs. But like, they make that face when like trying to make you feel affectionate or bad or something.
Yeah, they pout.
Like they like turn their nose down and like do like the Puss in Boots eyes sort of thing.
Even more heartbreaking how he's the last person standing there in the toy standing there in the window.
Yeah,
and Woody's desperately like, Blink, please! Oh, don't come back!
Yeah, even Bo gives up. Bo fucks off. She's gone. But Slink is loyal as ever.
Yeah. God.
But credit to Bo, she does take charge at the end and tell everyone like, hey, go grab the ramp. So she makes up for it. Also, she's the one who grabs Lenny and he's like, you idiots! Woody was telling the truth.
It's like you believe.
But also she immediately saw Buzz and was like, I got my moving buddy.
Yeah.
I got my moving buddy.
Oh, okay, Bo. Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about Rex because if I could own any Toy Story toy, it would be Rex. Rex is I'm not lying to you. Rex is my favorite Toy Story character. Hands down. And yeah, you guys can make
it's easy to see why.
He's so
it's very easy to see why.
Funny. Why is he so funny?
Wallace Shawn.
Oh.
Wallace Shawn is honestly infectious in any role he's in. Like, have you ever seen The Princess Bride, where he plays like an egotistical doofus character?
Yeah. He's so. And I love. I don't know how any of you feel about the short Party Source Rex. I love that special. Because, I mean, again, it's Rex. I love Rex. I don't know why so much. He's just funny. And, like, what makes it even better is the fact that what he does in this movie is basically he's just always like, guys, why don't we just all go by the fire and sing Kumbaya? But instead,
it's like,
they're like,
conversation.
Yeah. He's so good. And I think what makes him even funnier. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to build off that by saying that in keeping with what we were talking about before about how all the toys' personalities are tied to what kind of toy they are, Rex is this cheap plastic dinosaur. So, of course, he would be incredibly insecure and neurotic all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's in much the same way that Ham is, he sits up on the shelf, he overlooks all of Andy's toys, and he looks out the window into the world, so naturally he thinks he knows more because he oversees everyone, and because he's also the piggy bank who is the manager of Andy's money, he's the most straightforward and the most professional and the most knowledgeable about a lot of things. And all these things really tie together and be like, yeah, if you don't have to think about it, but if you do think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense why you're acting that way. And Rex is no exception. I love one of my favorite lines from Rex is at the end after Woody gets yeeted out of the truck, and he just goes, "Hooray!" He's so happy. He's so happy.
As he bows off into the fucking abyss. I think one of my favorite lines is when they loop back around, from when it was Andy's birthday party to Christmas. He was scared that there was going to be another dinosaur to take over, but then he's now more excited because he's hoping for a herbivore. And he's like, "Oh, I just hope." And it sounds like he more just wants friends rather than, be replaced. But I mean, it makes sense because I mean, yeah, he's a T-Rex. He's like the biggest dinosaur of them all, from what we know. I don't know. There might be a bigger one, but like, you know, there could be like a more realistic dinosaur
definitely
toy.
have the strongest bite force out of any animal who's ever lived.
Yeah.
He also it's odd, isn't it? He has a mini arc in both Toy Story 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole, what I really like about that scene, Rex isn't the only one who's affected by that. The arc that Woody and Buzz go on together affects the whole dynamic of the room, just the characters in it and the room itself. Because of course, by the end, whereas previously it was either only cowboy decorations in Andy's room or only space-themed decorations in Andy's room, by the end, it's a little bit of both, showing how much the two had grown together. And of course, all the toys have been affected as well, where they're all, rather than being afraid of new toys coming into the room, they're welcoming. They embrace new toys because they see how much Buzz has changed things for the better in the development that he's had with Woody.
Yeah, and I think what even makes it even better with that is the fact that they...
That's really sweet.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was just saying that was really sweet. That detail.
And
then they get a puppy.
Yep, and
the toy's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
That is maybe one of the greatest final lines in any movie ever. Because
it's such a sitcom of an ending.
It's so funny. It's just like, oh my god, I can't even, because you think you're over all the, it's one last to push you over the edge and just leave you smiling ear to ear, because everything's been resolved. They made it. They have this triumphant payoff in the climax. That fucking phenomenal payoff where they get to fly and fall with style, and you think everything's all set. You see the new room's all happy, everyone's changed for the better, we've overcome all the conflict, and then you see a little bit of like, oh, Buzz is afraid now, but now the shoe's on the other foot now, isn't it? And it's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek there, and you're like, oh, what a sweet way to end the movie. And then they throw you one last curveball. Like, what could be worse than Buzz Lightyear? Oh, a puppy!
a dog.
Also, does that mean Andy's mom locked a dog in a box overnight?
No.
I've always wondered this, because like I hear stories of kids who get like puppies or cats for Christmas, and I'm like, so where were they? Like, where are you hiding them for the last few weeks? I mean, of course. Obviously.
How do you even hide a dog? They're so loud.
It's actually.
I always thought that was a thing they just did in the movies, because I think the other time I remember is in the beginning of Lady and the Tramp, where Lady is in a Christmas box, and hopefully there are air holes.
Well, I can give you my experience. So me and my sister got my aunt's dog Georgia, who is miraculously still alive after a long time. She had a litter of puppies along with my Mimi's dog. She also had puppies, and for Christmas, what they did was, when me and my sister both got them, we drove up there and they had them in at my Mimi's, because my Mimi's lived close to my aunt. So what they did was they drove up there saying, oh, we forgot a gift, and then they drove back down with them. I don't think that's for everybody's experience, but that's how my experience was. Maybe they just had it like kind of store away in the garage and then like slowly brought it out. I don't know, but that's how I experienced it. But that's just me. Rest in peace, Snoopy in Jersey, by the way. Anyways, to go from that, should we talk about Bo Peep? I know, like, I kind of have mixed opinions about Bo Peep and pretty much the entire Toy Story franchise for obvious reasons, but you guys want to discuss Bo Peep?
Sure.
Well, she's in an interesting position because she's like Woody's love interest, but also he doesn't need one for the story to work.
Yeah. Very...
Yeah, it's, what I think it's clear when you're watching the movies that Toy Story 1 was a movie primarily written by a group of exclusively men, and they wrote based around the toys that they grew up with playing. So they had the dinosaur toy, they had the cowboy doll, they had the cool G.I. Joe-esque space toy. They They rode around the toys that they knew when they were growing up, and then they heard from a lot of people, be them the other women in their lives or just women who watched the movie, that like, hey, maybe we should get some female representation in here. And that's where Jessie comes from. Jessie is like, she just bursts onto the screen in Toy Story 2, radiating all the energy in the world to sort of make up for Toy Story 1's lacking in that department. And then Toy Story 3 goes even further with introducing Barbie, but I don't want to get too off the beaten path here. My point is,
not even in that movie.
Toy Story 1 is very much like they were basically just making a movie for themselves. And that is one of the things I admire about Toy Story 1, is that they weren't making it for anybody. Because as far as they were concerned, they didn't think they were going to get a chance to do this ever again. So they weren't trying to... Originally, we mentioned the Black Friday reel, they were trying to make a movie for someone. They were trying to make it to appease all the notes they were getting from Disney, being like, change this, make this edgier, this is too juvenile. And it resulted in one of the most disastrous things that's ever been crapped out by anybody ever. So then they said, all right, screw it, let's just do something that we would want to see. We're going to make a movie for ourselves. We're not going to perform for anybody. We're going to make the movie we want to make, that we would watch even if we had no attachment to this whatsoever. And because they just thought it was their only shot at getting to make a movie, so they poured every ounce of themselves into it. They were going to go big or go home. And because of that, it has a certain edge to it that other Pixar movies don't really have. It has, like, there's a reason it's so unhinged, because it's in no way sanded down or filtered through anybody for anybody. It is pure, raw, Pixar creativity at its finest. They're just doing whatever they want to do, come hell or high water. The world is either going to embrace this and accept it, or they're not. But either way, we're gonna be hoisted by our own petard. We're gonna fall on our sword. We're gonna sink or swim by the movie we want to make. And that does unfortunately lead to some things, like there not being a really strong female voice. Bo Peep's there and she gets some stuff, but it's not really anything substantive.
I mean,
but I do, even in spite of that, I do have a lot of respect for a creative team that just says, screw it. Yeah. We're going to do what we want to do, and no one's going to tell us anything else.
Yeah.
It even becomes a horror movie briefly.
Yeah. Dude, Toy Story 1's fucking scary. It's creepy as shit.
Yeah. It's still have fucking crab thing with a baby head.
My only question is...
People still have nightmares about this damn movie.
I can see why. Like, what the fuck is that? Anyways, I was going to bring up on the Bo Peep thing. I
was less scared of that. It was more like, whoa, cool. I don't know why.
I was going to bring up what you said about Bo Peep, Trevor. Like, from your series, you even say it yourself, that, like, you could remove her from this movie and not too much will change. Like, you don't need Bo Peep. Like, I mean, Bo Peep, like, tells a guy to, like, flip a lever. And, like, she says goodbye to Woody in Toy Story 2. But, like, you don't really need... you don't need Bo Peep. And, like, I wonder... Okay, we're not talking Toy Story 4. We don't need to get into that topic today. But I do want to bring up... I wonder if that was part of the reason why they brought her back, to try to make her way more... girl bossy? I don't know how to describe it. I'm meaning more
involved in the plot.
Yeah,
that's a better way of
saying it. Jessie was already the type of character they were going for, but actually good.
Yeah, and not only that, but they had to completely sideline Jessie in order to allow Bo Peep to step into the spot. I can't... Okay. So, Bo Peep's biggest contribution in Toy Story 1 is telling a guy to lower a lever. That's about on par with Jessie's biggest contribution in Toy Story 4, which is cutting a wheel with a nail.
Yeah.
That's...
Actually... sorry.
No, we should... you don't want me to...
Oh, we'll
okay,
don't worry, we'll bring you back for Toy Story 4. Don't worry about that one, but no.
I can't wait.
Oh, I know.
I just want to mention, by complete coincidence, earlier today, my mom had to get a tire repair because she ran over a nail.
Funny enough...
Like, literally earlier today. Which is...
Oh, wow.
But here's the important question. Did it take an entire day to fix the single flat tire?
No. It took the entire morning, though.
Oh, yeah.
You mean to tell me It didn't take until the fucking sun went down. For what? It's fine.
As someone, my dad actually, I know I keep bringing up family members, but I'm going to do it here anyways. My dad, he's really good with cars, and we're like he told us like one day this week we're just all gonna take our cars around back, and what we're gonna do is it's gonna be like fucking NASCAR. And the reason why I bring it up is I'm like, because I was thinking about it, because you were like, hey, how hard would it be to pop a tire? Like, just one person. Like, you would need the palm of your hand. And I was like, my dad said, yeah, I know this is going to be weird. My dad said you might need to use the bottom of your foot. Because it's hard to do it. But
it's not, you can't just, it's fine. Is there any, we're talking about a good movie today, so.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's not get caught up on, the shortcomings of the.
Should we talk about Andy?
Another movie.
Nobody really brings up Andy from Toy Story 1 when bringing up like the movie. They mostly talk about the toys, which is for obvious reasons. But should we talk about?
I thought we were going to talk about Sid's toys first.
Oh, we'll talk about Sid here in a minute.
No, Sid's toys is what I meant. Since we're still on side characters.
I think we can kind of do both at once because Andy isn't really a character, not in a meaningful sense, right? Like he doesn't really change. He doesn't really have any kind of dynamic interactions with anyone. Mainly, he is the thing that the entire plot centers around. All the characters, every action they take, every decision they make, it all revolves around Andy. But Andy himself doesn't really have much to do, which is what makes Toy Story 3 so powerful when he does get something really important to do in the end. But in Toy Story 1 specifically, it's Andy himself doesn't. It's more about what Andy represents than what Andy himself actually does or says. Like when you're in Andy's room, you feel home because it's because of how the room is designed, right? It's a warm room.
Yeah.
It doesn't cast a lot of shadows. It's just you feel safe because of how bright it is, how colorful it is. It's a place that you feel like you could let your guard down. But then you jump over to Sid's room and it's the total opposite. It is dark. It is a haunted house, from top to bottom. Everything around you is coated in darkness. You have no idea what anything is, where anything is. You have, if Andy's room is where you can let your guard down, Sid's room is where you have to have your guard up at all times. And yet at the same time, even when you are as scared as you are in Sid's room, when you're just surrounded by these horrible, terrifying creatures, the rest of the house is even scarier. You don't know what's out there. You don't want to know what's out there.
That bamboo wallpaper alone makes Sid's house scary to go to. Like, holy shit.
And
it is ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly, because Andy's room is so colorful, Sid's room is the opposite. The colors that are there are hideous, and they make you want to run away. It's this hideous, ugly FNAF 3 Springtrap green is mainly the only color you see in Sid's house. And it's really clever how they flip everything on its head, because whereas, like, everything in Andy's room is all about is to be played with. You don't want Sid to play with you. No. You really don't want Sid to play with you.
Yeah.
It honestly reminds me of this might be a weird comparison. It reminds me of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, because in that movie they just straight up go to hell, and it uses the ugliest colors possible in the most uncomfortable but still familiar locations and settings. That's what Sid's room reminds me of. It reminds me of hell in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Would that make Andy's room heaven?
Well, I mean, I don't really want to go down the rabbit hole because some people like to look at Toy Story movies from a religious perspective of the humans being the toys' gods, and I'm like, we don't need to go there.
No, we don't. Yeah, all right. Sorry.
But one last thing I want to say about Sid's room is that, like, there's nowhere they can run, because when Sid's in the room, you're afraid that at any second your life could be over. He could just completely destroy you. And even when he leaves the room, you still aren't Sid, because you just hear, like, when Sid leaves them alone after he He's like, she's lying! Whatever she says, it's not true! You think you're cool, you think you're safe, you think you have a moment to breathe, but you don't. Because then you start hearing noises, you start hearing things creaking around you, you start seeing shadows flying by the walls. You are still not safe because there is something else in that room that is alive and stalking you.
Yeah.
But then, what's really smart about it is that that's what you're expecting. They play into the expectations, they lean a lot of the musical things and the way the shots are staged. And then they flip it all on its head later when it's like, no, they're not cannibals. They're not. They're when they grab all the toy parts and Buzz is like, they're cannibals. They're not cannibals. They're trying to get the toy parts out of the way before Sid gets back so he can't hurt them anymore. And when they block their path from running outside, they're not trying to prevent them from escaping. They're trying to prevent them from running headfirst into Scud.
Yeah.
And that's like this. This is why I said earlier this movie doesn't really get enough credit for. It is such a sophisticated screenplay where every single thing that happens has a double purpose. Even going back to the beginning, when the batteries fall out of the baby monitor, it's already establishing, like, reminding you that these are toys. They can be broken and they can be fixed, and they have batteries that can run out. So at the end, when they're chasing after the moving van and RC's batteries run out, you're like, oh yeah, that is a concern we had to deal with. They set that up in the beginning, and now we're off of batteries are running out. Man. I
was gonna bring up.
They even made Buzz's health bar his battery pack in the Toy Story 2 game, like as a nod to that. I think.
I was gonna bring up. I know these two, uncultured. These two haven't played Resident Evil 7 yet. We're going to. Don't worry, we're doing that for Halloween. Like, I think you can agree with me, Trevor. It's almost as disgusting as the baker's house from Resident Evil 7. Like, the only difference is there's not, like, human appendages on the ground. There's toy appendages on the ground. It's like the Toys Bakers.
Yeah, from Woody and Buzz's perspective, that's like seeing human appendages. Like, even the other toys, like, Rex almost throws up when he sees Buzz's arm dismembered.
Yeah.
And that's how they can get away with it, because if they were humans, Toy Story would be rated far higher than it, or rated far more mature than it is by the MPAA.
Dude, if they were humans, Sid's room would have characters that look like fucking Photoshop Flowey. Like, it would be horrifying.
Yeah.
More so than it already is, I mean.
But that's what I'm getting at. It's like the, I know, Resident Evil 7 reference, oh my gosh. Evil Spirit won't shut the fuck up about this game. But, I love this game a lot. But, anyways, what I was going to bring up is the fact that, like, it feels like if you were to, like, actually walk, like, in the toys equivalent, it is like going to the baker's house from Resident Evil 7. And it's creepy, it's gross, it's disgusting. And you're like, I don't want to be here, I want to go home. And, like, you know, because it doesn't have any shadows. Like, even, like, I can even say, like, the wallpaper's almost identical to, like, the Baker house. The only difference is, like, again, you're seeing it from a toy's perspective. And, you know, when you're, like, an adult, you're like, oh my god. But when you're in the Baker house, you're like, oh my god, that's a human arm on the ground. Just lying there casually. While, you know, Sid's room is...
and also, much like Resident Evil 7, there's a giant monster in the halls stalking you at every turn.
Yeah. And even then, like, the only...
That's not a monster, it's a dog! What's the difference?
the difference is in Resident Evil 7, it's a guy. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because I kind of noticed it while watching Toy Story 1 again. I was just kind of like, it just reminds me so much of... Like, before anybody says, I'm not going to try to make the argument that they stole from Resident Evil 7, because that's stupid. Nobody would... That wouldn't even hold up at all. But I'm just saying, it does a great job in this horror-like aesthetic to be both convincing while also being very serious. And also being, like, you know, not too spotted. Far. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Really bad at telling when people are going to talk. I'm sorry.
What's wrong?
No, what I was gonna say was a nice detail I noticed as well in Sid's house. It's an homage. The carpet on the upstairs is the same carpet as in The Shining.
Yep. And anytime you see a Shining reference, you can bet with absolute certainty it is Leon Kurtz responsible exclusively for putting that in there.
That's very interesting. I know you in
case you don't know, for anyone who, because the silent reaction makes me think you may not be aware of this. For anyone who doesn't know, Leon Kirch's favorite film of all time is The Shining. That is like, it is to him what Toy Story is to me, essentially. His most recent project, before being brought back to direct Coco 2, was creating a giant book chronicling the production of The Shining in way more extensive detail than had ever been done before. So he used, all the influence and connections he had made over the years at Pixar, he finally used them to reach out and get in touch with as many cast members and production crew members as possible to paint the biggest, most comprehensive picture of what it was like to make The Shining. So, because he loves the movie so much, if there is a reference to The Shining in a Pixar movie, it's him. You don't have to think about it. Just he's the reason why.
Was he responsible for episode 2 of Cars on the Road?
It would not. So I think he is credited on that show as like an advisory role. So it would not surprise me at all if he's the reason why that's there. Let me see if I can find.
Since you brought up Coco earlier,
okay.
He also had an Easter egg in Coco with the Shining twins. They're like in I forgot what the name of the place is.
The Land of the Dead?
Yeah, basically the building where the name of the building specifically.
Huh.
Like,
that's very
when they're...
Sorry.
Look. No, I'm sorry.
It's
my brain's...
You know what? Another thing I know, another detail just to add to how, like, even if you were just a human going into Sid's house, it's genuinely hideous. Like, another thing I noticed was, like, one of the lights, you can only see it in, like, one shot, but one of the lights is just, it looks like a bunch of grapes for some reason, and it looks so out of place, and it's next to, like, a framed picture of I don't know who that woman is, but she also looks out of place in there. Like, it's almost like the people who made the movie took like some sort of interior design class and decided and did the exact opposite for Sid's house. You know what I mean?
Make it look as very weird as possible. Oh my gosh, I really want to make.
Okay, I think I remember. It's the place where they try to find Ernesto rehearsing, but he's not there. It's in that place where you find the Shining Twins Easter egg.
I see.
That's cool.
I got such a horrible joke I want to make. I'm not going to, but God, I want to make it. I so want to make it. I don't like this person.
Even then, Sid's room, like, it's not even just that. It's fucking disgusting. The guy has just a bowl, like a plastic bowl of cereal with a metal spoon that still has milk and some sort of cereal in it, just in the room. With no, in the way he moves around his room, he clearly has no care or awareness for where he places that sort of thing.
Well, here's one really interesting thing about that I'm glad you brought that up, because there's something really cool that doesn't often get brought up about Toy Story. There's a lot of Pizza Planet cups around Sid's room in his house, like an absurd amount. It's he's littered them all over the place. And what that communicates to me as an audience member is, there's a lot of Pizza Planet cups all over the floor because he goes to Pizza Planet a lot. And he probably goes there so much because it's his sanctuary away from his home life. Which, one, makes it more believable that Woody and Buzz would bump into him there at a night at a Pizza Planet. Because that's one element of the script that's kind of weak, is that they just kind of miraculously bump into Sid and then he brings them home. But...
Well, the weakest part is that he wins the crane game twice in a row.
I mentioned this in like a text chat. The most unrealistic part of this movie is the fact that he wins the crane game twice in a row.
It's bullshit.
Don't even get me started. Okay, brief tangent. I was with someone in an arcade recently, and we were at a crane game because I have Toy Story brain. I see claw, I must do. So we went over to the claw, and she wanted to take a crack at it. So we divvied up our tokens so that we each would do different things. And I wanted to get her winning the crane game on video. She did it 9 times. Did not get it because the claw machine is rigged. It's actually mechanically rigged. So then I put the phone down and I went off to do my own thing. On the 10th time, the instant I stop recording, she wins the damn crane game. It's like, well, fuck me, I guess. Anyway, yeah. That is actually the most unrealistic thing about Toy Story, is the fact that Sid wins the damn crane game.
My friend, Darius, Pizza Man, whatever, I call them both because that's his username. We go watch movies with friends. We went and did that with Thunderbolts, Minecraft movie. Did it recently for Fantastic Four. And there's a place that we go to. It's called, I'm not going to say the name of, but it's a game store, and they have a claw machine. And he'll come up to us, and he'll ask us if we have ones or fives. And he'll hand, we'll have, ones. And he'll hand one, I think I had, 20 ones. I don't remember, or, no, 10 ones. And he had a $10 bill. That motherfucker handed me a $10 bill. He didn't win a single fucking toy or anything from there. And I was like, wow, you're just an idiot. I don't even know why you bother. Jesus. Those things are so fucking rigged. And what made it even worse was this one talked. Or it didn't talk. It, played music when you were playing it. So you just hear in the background just like a... Like some fucking bullshit in the background. Well, we're all, looking around at, the games and stuff. By the way, I got Halo 5 from that place. I don't know why I wanted to mention that.
I'm sorry, I have a guttural reaction just to Halo 5, that piece of shit. Fuck. I've been doing a lot of work on my Halo Infinite video over the last few days, so I've just been very Halo brained, and I've been from the dog shit steaming pile of trash that is Halo 5's campaign. But this is a Toy Story podcast, so I don't need to go on a rant about how much.
Okay, before we move on.
Anyway,
hold on.
I got conned $20. I got conned $20 out of a crane game at a movie theater just because it was a FNAF plush. I'm weak, but I really wanted it, and I'm pretty sure that was the same time I went to see Despicable Me 4 in theaters, so it was double bad.
Oh no!
I have yet to watch that movie.
But yeah, to quickly wrap up the thing I was saying about Sid and Pizza Planet. One, it makes it more believable that Sid would bump into Woody and Buzz at Pizza Planet. But two, and this is what I really like, is that it just tells you, without telling you anything, it shows you a lot about Sid's character, that he has a pretty troubled home life. That's why when Scud is chasing Buzz, and he goes into the room where who we assume is Sid's dad, is asleep on the couch watching TV, Scud isn't scared by anything, clearly. He is just this ferocious monster who knows no bounds. But when he goes into that room with Sid's dad, he just cowers away. He immediately forgets about Buzz, and he goes the other direction. And what that communicates to me as a viewer is that Sid's dad might be somewhat abusive, not just with him, at least with Scud, based on how Scud reacted to being in that room. And if he treats Scud that way, it's not a stretch to say that he might also treat Sid that way, which would explain why he spends so much time at Pizza Planet with all the cups that are scattered all over his room, and why he acts the way that he does. And this is kind of what I mean about there's nothing is in Toy Story that doesn't explicitly serve the narrative. The main story of Toy Story is Woody and Buzz and the relationship they have with each other and together. And nothing distracts from that. But if you want more about Sid, you want more about his family life, the details are there. There's a lot of really subtle pieces of world building and information about the backstory of Sid Phillips and his life that are there to pick up on if you want to look for them. And it's far more effective to imply these things and have them in the background than it is to beat you over the head with, well, my life kind of sucks, and I just, he never goes on a villain monologue to one of the toys about how life sucks, and he picks up Woody, and he's like, you're the only thing I have in this. I'm gonna do to you what my dad always did to me, and he across the room, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, they would have felt so forced if they did that.
This was written by a 5-year-old, okay.
Well, even then, you don't really want to, people go and say, oh, well, Sid was just a creative child. Dude, he was a dick to his sister. I know he didn't know he was torturing real-life things when he mangled the toys up, but, one, that was still causing suffering, and they should have done something about it. 2, he's not innocent anyway because of how he treats his sister and her toys.
Yeah, that is ultimately what's... Because the ending, in isolation, if with no other context, it's kind of terrible what they do to him. Like scaring the absolute shit out of him. But what saves it is the fact that that Sid is, he was a kid who needed to be taught a lesson. He was disrespectful not only to the things he owned, but also to the things his sister had, and just not being very kind to her either. So it's a nice wake-up call for him, and we see in Toy Story 3 that he's seemingly doing a lot better. So, they rescue it pretty cleanly, but without the additional presence of his sister, that could have been a lot harder to swallow as a pill for the audience of just tormenting a child like this.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 having him in it, I really appreciate as a detail too, because given everything, he was mean, but at the same time, he was still a child in a troubled household. He deserved another chance to be able to
he's not pinned down for the rest of his life by mistakes he made when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Or trauma from what probably would traumatize you for life.
Oh, that would have... Are you kidding me? If that happened to me, I'd never leave my house again.
Yeah,
they're out there around every corner. The toys are alive. They're gonna kill us all.
Hey Sid, we're going to the toy store.
They're like 1984.
Not the toy store.
Of his own one day, and he has kids of his own one day, and he goes out shopping with his partner to buy toys, and they're like, they're trying to build the baby's room, and maybe we just give him some blocks. I don't know. Maybe
they go to
how does Build-A-Bear work in the Toy Story universe? Now that I think of
it, we don't think about it. Is the answer? There's too many rabbit holes. I don't feel like going down today.
He goes to one of the the animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese or something, and the head spins and it's just an immediate oh my god! It's just
okay, I know I just said we're not gonna go down these rabbit holes, but I have to mention, because Lightyear's a fucking shitty ass movie.
Yeah.
So the director of Lightyear confirms that Lightyear is canonically an in-universe live-action movie, and that Socks is an animatronic that was used. Socks isn't CGI; it's an actual animatronic they used. And if it's an animatronic they used to film the scenes, that means...
Would that count as a toy?
Animatronics are alive in this world, which means at places like Chuck E. Cheese or Disneyland, that all those animatronics would also be alive.
Oh my god, Five Nights at Freddy's!
Wait, does that mean that the wacky aliens in Pizza Planet feel the pain of getting hit?
It might, because and this isn't even speculation, the director confirmed this. He's like, oh yeah, I guess that would mean that animatronics are alive. I'm like, you fucking... Why do you keep doing...
Why do people keep destroying the world building of Toy Story?
Son of a bitch, guys! Come on, to be fair,
Wait,
so now the comparison you made to Sid's house in FNAF 3 fits even more.
That's
we're gonna pretend that was intentional.
That's super weird to me, cause in the Toy Story universe, with Sid specifically, I feel like that would be the worst thing you would want to run into if you were a toy. A kid that would break you apart and mesh you with other toys. That would be the worst. It's have any of you guys played the game Outlast? Have any of you guys played the game Outlast?
I have not.
Okay, well there's a part in the game where you get kidnapped by the scientist, or not scientist, he's a doctor, and he talks about how he cut someone's tongue off, because there's you walk by these patients who are freaking screaming their heads off, and one of them's tied to a bed screaming that he cut his tongue off, and then all he says is while he's walking in, he's oh yeah, if I'm gonna be honest with you, the only reason why I did that, I was tired of licking my own stamps. And you think about all these horrible things happening, and as Trevor, you already said this, but I'm gonna just steal what you said. It's if this movie was real people, oh my god, it would be like if you were watching a horror flick. And maybe that's what they're really trying to go for. In this universe, this is their horror. This is what scares them the most. And I feel that's a great first antagonist for this franchise. being the tinkerer of toys in a sense. And I really like that Sid is that. And then I like how in Toy Story 3 you do see him again, whether people want to believe it or not. That is Sid. And he's
literally listed as Sid.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just living his life. He's throwing away trash and crushing them. Listening to some music.
His vengeance.
Yeah, he's
to destroy other toys and the garbage.
Yeah. Or
could you even imagine if he saw Woody on that curb?
No, not again. Not again. No, God.
Oh my God, that'd be awful.
It's he starts sweating. He's like, no. No, please. To scare him. But yeah.
Well, even then, even then, you don't know that you don't know that revealing that you can move is going to they had to surround him, because if Woody were to do it on his own, for all he knew, Sid could have just fucking picked him up and thrown him across the room or backyard.
throw him up into Andy's house. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm back." It's like, I don't know how that happened, but yeah. All right. Shall we talk about the main duo?
I also just think.
Oh, go ahead.
Whoa, hold on there, partner. I think you might be forgetting someone. Arguably the
aliens
characters. Yes. The aliens.
Yes.
The alien.
Yeah, the.
I like that it's. I like that the claw machine's just a religion.
Yeah.
Because that is the first in a long line of genius Pixar ideas. It's one of those things you don't know how someone could possibly come up with it, and yet what makes it so funny is that when you think about it, it makes complete sense. Because of course, if you were one of the aliens, you would view that claw as if it's if you were stuck in that machine and the only thing determining whether you left or if you stayed was that claw, of course you would view it as your god. I love things like that in movies that make you think about your environment in ways that you never did before. It's just that is the kind of creativity that at a certain point in history you could only find at Pixar.
Yeah, and I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah, that is.
I love the fact that they do bring them back in Toy Story 2 and 3, and were they in 4? I cannot remember. Were they in?
Doesn't that isn't that really telling? You know what? Let's play a game, because I know the answer. I wish I didn't know the answer. Were the aliens in Toy Story 4? Or more specifically, were they on the road trip? Were they on the road trip?
Oh,
Did they go on the road trip?
They weren't, were they?
But they were in the scene where Woody introduces Forky to the rest of the room. I know that.
They don't make a noise, but they are there. In spirit.
God, that just really shows to me that either I do have shitty memory, but also the fact the last time I watched Toy Story 4 was 2019, and I never had a reason to rewatch it. I guess I should.
By the way,
sorry,
not to get sidetracked again, but how fucking bizarre is Toy Story 4 from not even just the other toys' perspective, who discover Bo Peep is back, and also that Woody's fucking off into the distant Trevor at the exact same moment because they didn't see the rest of the movie. They see Bo and it's like, bye guys. Like what? What do you mean? Wait, what?
What do you mean you're leaving?
But now imagine being the aliens back in Bonnie's room. They didn't know any of this is going on. They come back, it's like, where's Woody? Oh, he's gone. Okay.
Oh,
he died.
He just fucked off with me next. Bye.
Well, it's a special.
What?
Toys that were always
I would be
Bonnie's
pissed
toys
off if I heard
they
that
don't even
news.
know. The toys who are always Bonnie's toys probably don't even know who Bo is.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about that because, like, well, no, they would know because Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, like, between the events, the aliens were there. Like, cause it was
no. What I said was the toys that were always Bonnie's toys wouldn't know.
Oh,
Trixie, Prickle Pants.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, they. I mean, I feel like they would have probably brought it up. Like, yeah, we had other toys. You know, we had like Woody had like a girlfriend named Bonnie. There was Lenny. There was RC. There was this.
Bonnie, a girlfriend named Bonnie.
I know that was a Freudian slip, but
my bad. Fuck. God.
Their names.
Myself. Okay.
Hey, their names both start with B-O. It's fine. It's a simple slip of the tongue. It's okay.
Okay, I need to get a lot. Anyways, just want to bring it up.
Anyway, Toy Story 4 sucks and Toy Story 1's great. The aliens and the machine viewing the claws are a stroke of pure genius, and I love it.
Oh yeah, while we're on this subject of Pizza Planet, I remember when you watched the movie with Forgetful Gal. You mentioned that all the kids at the beginning at Andy's birthday party are just clones of Andy, but with like different clothing and skin color. Yeah. But in Pizza Planet, the same thing is the case. They're all either Andy or Hannah's models.
Yep.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
There was something weird about the aliens that I really wanted to ask. So, like, because they're obviously Pizza Planet originals, right? Like, I mean, the Pizza Planet truck has them.
They literally have a Pizza Planet.
Yeah, they have a Pizza Planet logo.
Like
so, like, you know, if you were to really think about it, like, if Pizza Planet ever went defunct, because, like, you know, it could have. We don't know, because, you know, they never bring it back up. It's weird that they kind of dropped that whole idea of Pizza Planet after Toy Story 2. I think Toy Story 3 brings it up, but like you don't really. I think actually don't Lotso Big Baby.
Lotso was sitting on that led them to Sunnyside in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, so this is every Toy Story movie that matters has the Pizza Planet bring the toys to an important location. In Toy Story 1. The Pizza Planet truck brings them to Pizza Planet. In Toy Story 2, the toys use the truck to drive to the airport to catch up to Al. And in Toy Story 3, the Pizza Planet truck drives Lotso, Big Baby, and Chuckles to Sunnyside. Or, well, it drives them somewhere, and then they hit a bump in the road, and then they fall off. But you get my point.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty consistent through line for all the important Toy Story movies.
Yeah. I just always thought it was a little weird that, like... Because, like... I don't know. Again, memory. I was thinking like, okay, well, Toy Story, like the shorts don't really bring it up. Like they bring in that new thing for what was it called for Small Fry? It was
Poultry Palace.
Poultry Palace. I could not remember.
Yeah, and I kind of like that actually because it's like Pizza Planet is the place that Andy went to with his family, and then Poultry Palace is the place that Bonnie goes to with her family. I like that. It helps separate them more because Bonnie's already they already made a point of making sure Bonnie's playtime and the toys in Bonnie's room have a different dynamic than Andy. So I'm glad that they didn't just do Pizza Planet again. They did something different to make Bonnie's family stand out more from Andy's family.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I was just meaning more of like
I guess
that in, and then the hotel for terror. They really did good world building. Like, pretty fucking consistently. Like, even, like, the shorts, they did a really good job keeping it consistent with, this is how the world is, this is what this is what that is, there's this location, that location, they live in this area, in this street, whatever. Like, they just did a good job with that. Like, I just wanted to bring that up. They did a really good job keeping it all consistent.
You know what's really, really smart about the motel they go to in Toy Story of Terror?
What's up?
There's a sign on the like the sign out front, the neon sign being like, "This is a Sleepwell motel." They have the sign below it says, "Wi-Fi available. Kids stay free." Because the guy who runs the place is trying to incentivize more families to stay there, knowing that kids would be more likely to travel somewhere with toys than adults, because of course he's trying to steal their toys and sell them on eBay. And that's like, that's so, that kind of attention to detail is something I live for. I crave that kind of, like, someone thought about this. And most people will never even think about it or realize it's there, but I see. I see your game. I see what you're up to.
Or even most people will never think about the reason why the elevator stopped in exactly the right locations it needed to in Toy Story 2, but that also makes sense.
Of course, because it's the same, like, Al's going up and down, packing his car, getting all the boxes prepared to ship off to Japan. And so, of course, it would go from up and down constantly to allow the toys to have a safety net to fall on after Buzz lets go of the wall, and then it would take them to their exact destination. That's where Al is living. It's like, it's not a coincidence that it's happening. There's no other place it could stop because that's what's happening right now. So
what is Al gonna do? Carry his stuff down the stairs?
No.
The stairs?
Exactly.
Look, they made elevators for a reason. He's not taking the stairs. I was actually going to
of course, the elevator would be moving especially frequently because, you can't do it all in one trip. You'd have to go up and down, which sounds horrible, but it's what you got to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I
also just want to say, Pizza Planet seems like the coolest fucking restaurant ever. Like, okay, screw going somewhere formal for your date. Take them to fucking Pizza Planet.
Pizza Planet.
I would if I could, but Disney stubbornly refuses. Even though they're a horribly evil corporate overlord that just only cares about money, they also kind of hate making money because they never made a Pizza Planet restaurant, at least a real one. I don't count the fake plastic shit.
The warehouse.
The warehouse, the pseudo warehouse. And on top of that, they also never made official Woody's Roundup merchandising. It was all right there. You didn't need to design anything. They even built some physical models of that merchandise to give to Tom Hanks and be like, "Oh, it's a bank. Cool. You designed it and you built it, and then you didn't sell it." You know how much money you would have made by selling even a small handful of that? Like, what are you doing? I thought their whole thing was making money. Line goes up. We've got to have more money. No, okay, that's fine. I gotta do everything.
Trevor,
just insert the clip of Al in Toy Story 2 where he's like, yes, you got a deal.
Trevor, how you act is just how I act with Marvel shit. You guys can make so much money if you just actually made an Inhumans movie, but you'll never do it. Multiverse of Madness makes me want to kill myself every day. Have you ever watched that movie?
You don't want to get...
Have you ever watched...
Yeah, unfortunately.
Do you know...
You don't want to get me started.
No, hold on. I slight tangent. I don't care. It's my show. It's our show, but, this ain't a communist country.
If you ever want to do an episode on that movie...
God, I don't care. I'm pissed about this one thing. So, okay, I don't know, Trevor, have you ever watched Inhumans?
Just one?
Have you ever watched Inhumans?
I have not.
Okay, it's a TV show made by NBC, or no, not NBC, oh my god, ABC. And it's basically like these people who live on the moon, and like they're undercover, they can't be discovered because if they're discovered, they're like, people will probably try to kill them. But they're like powered individuals. Black Bolt, the guy who can fucking talk, is he's like the leader of that place. He's the leader of Atalan. That's the place it's called. That's not what I'm pissed about. What I'm pissed about, they brought back the actor from that TV show to play Black Bolt in that movie in a comic accurate suit. Which, by the way, that suit wasn't even real. It was CGI'd, which is why. But okay. But do you know what real...
It's Marvel. Everything except, like, the actors' heads is CGI.
Yeah, basically. But, like, what makes me so mad about that, what makes me want to just, like, slap something, or someone... No, I will never slap someone, unless it's Roxy, probably. But the thing is that really pissed me off was the fact that they brought him back just to kill him off. That's what pisses me off the most. They could have made an Inhumans movie... They killed him off in the dumbest way possible, and they made John Krasinski read Richards, and he was an idiot too.
Smartest man alive. Smartest.
Black Bolt can destroy you with one word from his mouth. Who the hell talks like this?
Smartest man alive. It's very simple. The movie says it. He's big brain. I can't even pretend. That movie's too fucking dog shit for me to even pretend like that's anything other than it.
Quick question.
One more. I could. Yeah.
Okay. Have you watched the new Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
You'll love that movie. Sorry. Continue with what you were saying. I just wanted to bring that up. I love that movie. It's great. It's great.
I was about to say, back to the Toy Story.
Yeah, so Toy Story. I guess the only characters we haven't covered yet are the big two, Woody and Buzz. The heart and soul of the story.
I guess technically we haven't talked about Andy's mom or Molly, but like, who cares?
No, who cares?
What? You're not going to talk about Lenny's amazing character arc?
Right here, Woody.
Oh my God! Look at him go. Okay, but yeah.
Look at him go. Maybe Squirrel and I saw the Lenny Easter egg in Inside Out 2.
Can we treat Lenny like Pixar's marketing team tried to treat Claude?
Every time he talks, everybody cheers. Oh, that'd be funny.
I feel sad whenever I think about Lenny because I know he was voiced by Joe Ranft, and like it just knowing he passed away so suddenly is very depressing because like everyone talks about how he was just he was the face of he was the embodiment of everything good about Pixar, and as soon as he left, it kind of took a turn for the worse, and it just makes me sad thinking about that. But what doesn't make me sad is thinking about Toy Story. And particularly Woody and Buzz's developments and the arc that they go on together.
I just love their dynamic together. Woody constantly being frustrated by Buzz's Space Ranger shit.
Tom Hanks sounds like his blood pressure is at the max for the entire movie.
He's so pissed. I mean, and he had to be.
So pissed off. He's so pissed off, which...
Like, obviously the gas station scene is what I would point to as being the funniest part of the movie for Tom Hanks in particular's vocal delivery.
Oh, God.
I'm lost! Andy's gone! They're gonna move their house in 2 days and it's all your fault!
And I love how, Buzz, he, gives, this whole monologue, and he looks so, serious about it as he's going on. And, he's like, and you, sir, are gonna get in. You're gonna make me miss my rendezvous with Star Command. And he slowly backs up, and Woody's just like, "You are a toy. You are not a space ranger." He's so.
And you, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command.
The animation and the fact that Woody moves like a fucking marionette throughout the movie makes that even better. Because you cannot have a human character move in such a way where their back and arms move like that and make it look both natural and funny. For Woody, it's he doesn't have any bones. He doesn't have very much density in his limbs to keep him rooted to the ground or in one spot properly.
That's what makes
it... For as funny as the animation is, and for as great as the dialogue is, what really sells the scene is the fact, you get to the gas station scene, and the two characters have just such burning hatred for each other. They can't stand each other. Because they both think the other one is completely deranged. Doesn't make any sense. Woody believes Buzz is responsible for ruining his life, and Buzz, believes Woody's responsible for trying to kill him. They hate each other, and yet you don't think, because what often happens in movies like this is you just think, if they would, can we just stop? Can we just take a step back and talk about our issues for 5 seconds? Because if you just talk to each other for 5 seconds, you would understand that you're not that different and we can all get along. But that's not the case here. You believe in it. You believe both of them. You're on both of their sides because you relate and you understand how they see the world. Woody is easy to relate to because he is genuinely kind and he does care about people, but it's contingent on him being the one in charge of the room. And everyone's felt jealous at some point. Everyone's felt jealous about whether they have a sibling, a younger sibling that came into their life and took all the attention away from that they used to be getting from their parents, or
I've seen The Boss Baby.
Or your friends with the Boss Baby is just a one-to-one rip of this movie. Don't even get me started on that shit.
Oh God!
Or a friend comes into your life, and you start spending less time with you. Everyone's felt jealousy to some extent with someone, so that makes it really easy to connect with him, and you relate to Buzz because, for some people even more so than that, everyone has that struggle of self-worth. I'm sure everyone at some point in their lives has felt that the moment when Buzz is on the steps, or when he's at the top of the staircase and he just feels like everything he ever knew was a lie, and he doesn't understand what value he even has to contribute to the world anymore. He spent his whole life chasing after this one thing he believed he was put on this earth to do, and now he isn't that thing, and he can't even come close to reaching that level of significance. He's just a toy. He's not a space ranger. And maybe not everyone has those exact parallels, because we're not toys and we're not space rangers. But there are parallels
as far as
that
you
can
know,
easily be drawn. Yeah, right. As far as I know, we could all be in the Matrix. But it's just it's so much can be read into Buzz's arc. It could be read into someone struggling, like wrestling between wanting to pursue a career and feeling weighed down potentially by a more domestic family life, and balancing between those things, and ultimately realizing that something that is ostensibly less impactful and less important can actually be far more valuable to the world and far more valuable to you personally. Even if it has a seemingly lesser impact, it can feel way more important to you personally. And I love Buzz's arc. I love the innocent, smooth vocal performance that Tim Allen delivers that makes his ignorance so delightful and charming. I love that he takes himself seriously, but is still so gracious and grounded. Buzz doesn't have a big ego. He still is gracious with his time. He's grounded, and he's calm and rational and polite to other people. He's sincere with his actions and beliefs, and he legitimately thinks that what he's fighting for is a good cause. And it's so easy to look at him and be like, yeah, he's kind of silly thinking what he does, but he believes in something. He has a fire in his heart to try to make a difference in the world, and he's doing the best he can with what he has. And that's isn't that what anyone's ever tried? Just to do the best they can with what they have. And
he's sorry.
And the last thing I promise, and then I'll let someone else talk. I know I've been hogging up a lot of the airtime, and I apologize for that. But once you get me started on Toy Story, it's hard to stop me. But Buzz is someone who, in spite of being a genuinely intelligent and capable action hero, he's also stubborn as a rock and refuses to listen to anyone who dares to oppose his worldview. So he has something that you're rooting for him, and he has something that you're rooting against him for. In the same way that Woody has these genuine, relatable motivations, he goes too far with it in some areas. It's not like you don't dislike the things Woody's doing because you understand why he's doing them. You're like, I can see how you got to this point. I just think you're handling it in the wrong way, as opposed to what the Black Friday reel would have looked like, which was, oh wow, I hate you. Why are you doing
literally intentionally throws him out the window.
Yeah, they went too far with the Black Friday reel.
It's not even.
Actually, they did the right amount, like having it be an accident and at the same time not. And you understand his anger because it shows how jealousy can corrupt even the most nicest of people. To be unpleasant, but not too unpleasant like the Black Friday reel.
I mean, from the beginning, Woody was from a place of privilege. Like he was nice, but it was like whenever he felt that his power and position was threatened, that's when he'll, I guess, stop acting like that.
He'll kind of push back on it, because even then, the first, when he starts talking to the other toys, they're like, well, yeah, of course you're not fucking worried about getting thrown away because you're his favorite toy. It's easy for someone to say, oh, guys, we'll be fine. And it's yeah, you're the one who's... It's it's kind of like, when you get your x-ray taken. And they're like, oh, you guys will be fine. And then they, go and... It's oh, yeah, you'll be fine. And then they go behind the divider. Yeah, it's easy for you to fucking say you're not the one that's getting hit by the stupid rays, dude. Like, I'm just saying as an example. I'm not saying anything about those machines. I'm not that smart, so I don't know how they work. But I'm just saying, as an example, it's really cool to kind of see the main characters being these, like the main characters of this movie is kind of a fish out of water type, along with someone who's been around the block, who does know what's happening, and he can tell you what's going on, but when trying to explain it to someone who thinks differently, it's always like butting heads. They're always like, no, you're wrong, or and they won't change because they change at the end, but like you wonder how they're going to change. I think that's what really connects it all together, and I like it a lot.
Yes. So two things to go off of with that. One, I like to come to your defense a little bit. It's not that you're not smart enough, it's that you just don't know how the X-ray machines work. See, is the key difference there.
I don't know how they work.
That's what we call a callback to an earlier conversation we had.
Yeah, you can't be in the room. If you're repeatedly exposed to X-rays, you'll get like cancer.
Oh man, that really sucks. Oh well.
Anyway, the point is Buzz is ignorant, not stupid. And the second thing I wanted to say is that even down the characters' designs, like obviously you have a cowboy and a space ranger. Automatically, there's a huge amount of contrast there. But even just the designs of how one is tall and narrow and the other one is shorter but a lot bulkier. Woody and Buzz's character design, that's another one of those things you just completely take for granted, but they're the kinds of character design that feel so natural and fluid that you just don't even think about it because they're so ingratiated into pop culture. Like, oh, it's Woody and Buzz. That's just have they not always been here? Do they not predate like the dinosaurs? Haven't they always been on this planet? But no, someone had to design these characters, and you look at some of the concept art, it was a real labor of love trying to figure out exactly what the right look for them was. And then you look at them now and you're like, I can't imagine them. They are so pitch perfect in their design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's hard to imagine a character like Homer Simpson was actually drawn by somebody. Like,
or even
he feels, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, even Mickey
But
Mouse
also, Woody and Buzz's designs...
Oh,
I was just going to say, Woody and Buzz's designs were perfectly in a meta sense as well, right?
I was going to bring that up.
Fiction.
Another fact I love about their designs is how it parallels real fads where, like, once astronauts and space stuff took over, people saw cowboys as kind of old news, and not really cool anymore.
I mean,
once the astronauts went up, children only wanted to play with space toys.
Yeah, Sputnik canonically exists in Toy Story, meaning that the world history in that universe is the same. I don't think whatever.
I mean, I don't
anyway,
see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Another thing I like, this is just a small detail, I like that Woody's burn doesn't go away throughout the movie.
Oh, his...
Like, not only does it not go away, but it's another key instance of what I was talking about earlier, how every purpose. And like, yeah, it's kind of torture in the moment, but it ends up being a setup for the biggest payoff of the movie. Because the obvious setup is Sid puts the match in Woody's holster. It's like, well, that's obviously going to be a thing they use later because of you wouldn't have put a shot that obvious if you weren't going to use it later. So then he does it. It's like, oh, Woody, the rocket, the match. Yes! Thank you, Sid. And you're like, yeah, here's...
It's such a perfect bait and switch.
But then the car goes by, and because up to that point, you would put all your eggs in that one basket. That was the only thought they had to get out of the situation. And once you take that off the board, they have nothing. All the air gets sucked out of the room, and you're like, oh shit, what now?
Woody even like falls over and like gives up.
Yeah.
But and another thing that makes it's almost like the Woody's burn, it reminds me of, oddly enough, it reminds me of Gravity Falls, because there is a part where in a credit scene Stan got a cut on his hand while working on the portal, and they gave him, for like, until it was revealed what the portal was, he had a bandage on his hand just as a small detail to remind you at all times that was still a thing.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very interesting the little details and like the little setups and payoffs. Because like yeah, as Trevor said, you would think it's oh yeah, the match like that's what they're going to use to escape, and then like just to go like oh yeah, you thought that, well actually no, but instead they use something else that they built up with Woody getting tortured, and then just using Bud's like reflected helmet. Which even like I love how like how they set it up as he turns.
It's an actual positive version of expectations.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, even their designs are important to the story, because if Buzz didn't have that helmet, that couldn't have happened.
Yeah, like that is the key thing that makes the climax work so well, is that the entire finale is proving that they can't do this without, like Woody says to Buzz, I can't do this without you. I need your help. And they show that, they prove that in the climax, because the whole time they are pushing the new bonds that they formed to the limit and just testing how far they'd go to each other. Every second they're just constantly sacrificing themselves for each other. So when Woody's about to get eaten by Scud, Buzz jumps on Scud. So then Woody sends him RC, and then when Woody gets thrown at the back, Buzz picks him up on RC. Then they work together to try to hold on to the moving van as Woody's grabbing on a sling and Buzz is steering RC the whole time to keep them on track. And then Buzz is the one who remembers the rocket. He's like, Woody, the rocket. Then Woody says, the match. Yes. And then it takes both Woody and Buzz to do the final payoff, because they need Buzz's helmet to reflect the light. They need Woody to have been tortured by Sid and remember that is how it works. And then, for the final payoff, Buzz is the one to use his wings to break the tape. They are constantly just ping-ponging back and forth, passing the ball back and forth across each other, because that is fundamentally what makes the movie work. The heart and soul is the bond that Woody and Buzz form with each other, and seeing them overcome, not because of each other, is the important thing. They both come to their realizations independently of each other. Like Woody, when Woody has his realization, he does it just on his own accord, because he's trying to convince Buzz to stop being a piece of shit and stop moping and being miserable all the time. And in doing so, he is forced, like, it just, this rant of how he really feels about Buzz and how much he respects him and he looks up to him, and that's where his jealousy stems from. That just comes out of him in this raw burst of emotion, entirely of his own accord, of how important he believes Buzz to be when he's because he's trying to motivate him. And in trying to motivate him, he reveals his inner insecurity. Such a natural way to have him say all this, when any other context would be an incredibly overt exposition dump. And then Buzz realizes how important it is to be a toy and how much that can make an impact on a child's world. Not because Woody tells him, but because he sees how deflated Woody is. He sees how he's reacting to the situation. Like, just, and that's a scene where subtle animation is absolutely necessary. Because Woody's stuck under a crate. He doesn't have room to be as exaggerated and flamboyant as he usually eyes in the, they have to do so much heavy lifting to carry the delivery of that scene, and being able to show you what's going through these characters' heads, when, especially Buzz, when he picks up his foot and looks at the bottom and sees Andy's name written on it, and you understand so cleanly what is running through his head every step of the way. Two characters with such clear arcs that overlap with each other, but are not they couldn't have gotten here without each other, but they also aren't exclusively reliant on each other, in the sense that they don't force each other into coming to the realization of what their ultimate character arcs are, because they still happen independently of their own accord. And that is what really makes it work so well. So then after they overcome those arcs, then you are fully on board with seeing them push each other to the limit to get home back to Andy in one piece. Because at that point, even though they're on the same side, and Woody proves how much he's grown by sacrificing not one but two chances to return to Andy, all for Buzz's sake, the emotional arcs still aren't fully resolved. You aren't fully satisfied as an audience member until Buzz flies. It is Toy Story is 75 minutes of setup for one massive release point, when Buzz falls with style and just soars across the world, and they do it together as a final callback to Buzz's first big scene of the movie, when he flies around Andy's room.
Yeah.
And that is the key heart and soul of why this movie works so well, is their relationship, their bond, how they bounce off each other both when they're on the scene and when they're not. Yeah. It is remarkable. I told you couldn't shut me up when you started talking about Toy Story.
Good,
I warned you this.
Oh, that's all right.
And in contrast to how well they work together once they've gotten their feelings out, like the only reason they even work together as a team in the first place is because Woody knows that the other toys will literally hang him if he comes back by himself, and he has to fucking lie to Buzz to get him to come with him.
Yeah, I found a spaceship, Buzz.
Spaceship.
Yeah,
it's a spaceship, Buzz.
You know, like, yeah, like it's kind of funny that Buzz is just like, oh, you did? Oh, thank God. All right. Well, you know what? You might be an asshole, but you found me a spaceship. That's all that matters. Like that's just kind of
a little weird, actually, because from Buzz's perspective, at that point, like he thinks Woody's like an intergalactic traitor.
Yeah, but it works. Come here. No, you can't go under there. Sorry. But
once again, he'll work with anybody if he needs to get the mission done.
Yeah. To finish this mission. Okay, sorry.
No!
Had to make.
I was going to be the one to make that joke.
I'm just that evil.
It's so funny because in Lightyear, he actually is not willing to work with anybody to finish them. In fact, he actively rejects all the rookies every step of the way because Buzz is a fucking asshole in that stupid movie.
He's so ingrained in that he literally doesn't just go to the people in the town and is like, hey, are you guys happy with your lives here? And then they all would have just gone, yeah. And he'd be like, okay, looks like I don't need to fucking erase the timeline.
He saw his best friend! He saw her get married and have a kid and have a life! It was right there! It was right there the whole time! What do you mean? What you did? It's oh my god! Why does Buzz have to have this explained to him explicitly by Izzy? She's like, nah, she had a whole life down here. Yeah, he should know that. He watched it. Why was this movie written by idiots?
And when he says that line again to Future Buzz, he either just doesn't care or is just homophobic. Who knows?
Oh my
goodness. Okay, well...
Oh my god. Actually, every YouTube video talking about Lightyear in a homophobic way is actually just Zurg going back in time and being different people.
I should have known.
To complain about it. It's like the Lex Luthor monkeys.
Yeah, oh god, the Lex
Anyway,
Luthor.
Does anyone have anything else they want to say about Woody and Buzz?
I do. Oh my god, how many cards, how many soul cards am I going to get in this run? Jesus Christ. And it's a York! Okay, sorry. I'm playing Bellatro.
Are you playing game?
Look, guys, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I like multitasking, and I'm playing Bellatro, and I got like 3 fucking legendaries. I don't know how that happened. Sorry. Okay, enough about the Bellatro stuff.
No, it's fine.
I just wanted to bring up, I got... soul cards are fucking rare, and I got 3 of them in this stupid freaking run. And it's going well, by the way. Anyways, okay, so... Okay, to get off of...
Also,
go ahead.
And one more thing to compliment on the characters' designs. I really like how they went out of their way to, like... Not just in terms of how he looks, but with the sorts of gadgets and abilities he has. They made Buzz as cool of a toy as possible. Like, you want that as one. Even if you're just a collector and would put them on your shelf. You want
even
that.
if in real life they wouldn't have all the features.
Yeah, I always...
No, it's actually kind of annoying. It's annoying. Like, you couldn't... Buzz Lightyear, as he exists in the Toy Story universe, could never physically be made. That's why there is no movie accurate Buzz Lightyear, because it's not, there's not enough room in the toy to be able to do all the things he does with all the voice prompts and the wings popping out and the karate chop action, and also having enough room for Buzz's helmet to fully retract. There are toys where Buzz's helmet, there are versions of Buzz Lightyear does fully retract, but they are missing other features because there physically isn't enough space to do all that. In the toy.
I think I had a Buzz Lightyear toy where like the helmet would flip up, but like the wings had like an extra button, but like I can't remember what it didn't have. Oh, it didn't have karate chop action. Which, I mean,
yeah.
I get, you know, like you said, it's just physically impossible to do so because there's just so much you would have to add. It's like, you know.
I mean, hey, the technology at that gas station is so advanced with all the teleportation, we might want to ask the people who work there to make a real-life Buzz toy.
Hey, can you guys make a
Also, nice detail I noticed when I watched that movie this morning is that the virtual realty building Andy's mom has a sign for on their house is actually right next to that gas station. I never noticed that before.
Another thing I never noticed is in the back of like one scene in Sid's house, you can see a grape soda can which has the same logo as the grape soda bottle cap that Ellie gives to Carl as a badge and up.
Very interesting. I wonder if there's a whole Pixar theory about that.
The only thing that could have made the accidental foreshadowing and Easter eggs better is if the batteries were by and large.
You know, okay, so wow, we talked about characters for a while. Should we move?
Wait, aren't the batteries by and large?
These characters are so great.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Aren't the batteries by and large in Toy Story 3? Now that I think about it,
I don't know.
Wait, what?
The by and large in Toy Story 3? I don't think so.
Yeah, weren't the batteries in the back of Buzz in Toy Story 3
are.
like when they open them up? Okay, cool.
I just couldn't remember. Okay, so now let's move on.
You mean to tell me you don't voraciously devour Toy Story movies and content for every second of your life?
I'm sorry, I'm more of a...
Yeah, sorry, I'm a snail. I'm not a fucking robot, okay?
Sorry, I'm way more indulgent into looking at which movie is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe next. Are they going to bring back Punisher? Guys, if they ask Thomas Jane to come back as Punisher, that movie's automatically going to be a 10 out of 10, even though I think he was asked recently that if he wanted to come back, and he said he'd rather direct one than make one, which... okay, whatever, Thomas Jane. Jane's a girl's name. Okay, let's move on to...
Can we talk about the animation?
The visuals and soundtrack.
We already did, technically, with the plot.
We're going to talk about the visuals and the soundtrack.
As well be titled plot and animation.
Yeah, we're going to talk about...
Oh yeah, the soundtrack.
It's a movie...
Yep.
It's a computer animated movie from 1995. Obviously, the animation is going to be dated. Like, okay... Like, typically it looks fine other than the humans, but I do think that the characters' eyebrows in particular sometimes look really janky. Do you know what I mean? Have either of you noticed? Have any of you noticed that as well? Like...
Sort of?
I guess.
I would like to make a slight correction to your statement, because a lot of people say this, and I understand what they're trying to say, but I would use different wording. Toy Story's animation has not aged. The actual animation of the characters, how they move, has not aged a day. But
the technology, you're right.
The visuals, the graphical fidelity has obviously it doesn't, you know, it looks like it was made in 1995. But even then, I think it's still like the lighting engine is obviously trounced by Toy Story 2, but they make up for lackluster lighting technology by making an incredibly striking color palette. Like, the way the room looks when Buzz gets knocked out the window, that beautiful orange sunset, or even just at night when you look up at the gorgeous starscape and Buzz is like saying, Emperor Zurg has been secretly building a weapon with the destructive capacity to annihilate an entire planet. The way the stars look, the atmosphere of Pizza Planet, it's all just like, it's beautiful. I don't know how else to, like, even, yeah, the lighting isn't as sophisticated as it could be, but they knew their limits, and they made up for a lack of detail and realism with extremely vibrant colors and palettes in that sense. So even though it doesn't look as sophisticated as a lot of movies released or made after it, it does still look very striking, which is why I think it has aged better than other movies released around the same time,
like
which
Ants?
You know, it's fun. How did you know I was talking about that piece of shit?
I don't know. I don't really care for like the bugs and like I don't care for Bugs Life. I don't care for ants. I don't care for spiders. Spiders. Well, actually, no. There was an animated spider show, wasn't there?
Spiders.
Yeah, there was like an animated.
Wait, wasn't it like Miss Spider's Daycare or something?
There was something like that. I watched it as a kid. I used to love it. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Anyways,
now I need to. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna try to find this out.
Okay,
later.
well, let's continue with Toy Story's animation.
Oh my god, I have not seen the show in years.
But yeah, with like the way the characters move in particular is phenomenal. Like each of them moves in a way that only that toy specifically would move. Like I said it earlier, but Woody has like little to no mass in his limbs, so they just sort of dangle around and move like marionette pieces.
It's clearly shown. The contrast is most stark in the climax when Buzz charges towards the truck very confidently, triumphantly, and whereas Woody is flailing his arms all over the place, just desperately trying to keep up. Every toy has their own little movement quirks, and you like if a character walks in a kind of stilted way, like Cam for instance, it's fine because they're toys. They're made of plastic, so of course their movement wouldn't be as fluid as a human's. So like everyone knows how a human walks. So if a human doesn't walk that way on screen, it looks wrong. But we don't know how toys walk. We don't know how that would look.
Yeah.
So you can get away with it looking less fluid, especially if you fully lean into the limitations of your technology and go fully overboard with how wildly over the top characters like Woody are and how they're animated. Flails his arms constantly because he's always losing his shit on everyone all the time. It's great.
Oh, yeah. And like Potato Head has to waddle everywhere because he doesn't have legs. He only has feet. But like it's not even something you really think about until it's not really something you think about until you really try to break down the movie.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, it's not really like cuz like, when okay, I don't know. Like when you're a kid and you're playing with your toys, you're mostly floating them up in the air. Like you're like whatever. Like, I mean, I used to have a Superman toy and do that. So, like, with them, it's like there's no atomically correct way to make a toy move because you don't, like, you move them with, like, you shake them or something. So it's very different than, say, how they do it, like, or how they're going to animate them, because you would never know how they would normally be animated, I guess is the best way to say it. Okay.
And that is ultimate. That is the most unfortunate. One last thing, I promise, and then we can move on.
Oh no.
That is the most unfortunate thing about a lot of this is so much work gets put into making things that if your job is done correctly, no one will be aware that you've done anything at all. The fact that no one thinks about this stuff is a testament to how good of a job the animators did into creating these believable performances for all the characters. Because if they didn't do a good job, it's all anyone would talk about was this failed attempt at a CGI world with characters that all look wrong and feel wrong and walk wrong and talk wrong. But no one says that, and no one even really thinks to mention how seamless everything looks, how believable everything feels. Because when you do your job right, you shouldn't think about that stuff. You shouldn't be thinking about, yeah, that is how that would work. That is how I think that character would walk or talk or behave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thankless job sometimes, but there is I like to hope at least that the people who work on these films feel an internal sense of creative satisfaction, knowing that the reason why people are reacting as strongly to it, even if they don't consciously realize it, is because they put in so much time to get all the details right, both big and small, to fully sell you on the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
I'd like to give specific attention to the animation on Sid's toys because, like, you don't even have anything to work with there. You have to make up your own monstrosities, combining just whatever. And you have to think, like, okay, this guy who has his torso strapped to a skateboard, he has to pull it manually.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, this crab baby thing, the face doesn't move at all except on a rotating hinge. But then the rest of the body moves like some sort of Terminator-esque robot.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to bring up real quick, was the fact that, like, with the animation and, like, because, like, they stick with, like, how they move and stuff for, like, the other games, or for the other games, what the fuck, with the other movies, and I even think with some of the games, like Toy Story 3, which I've only played the DS one, but and a little bit of PS1, PSP. But yeah, like they keep to a consistent basis for how they move, how they walk, how they interact, and like it's all very good. I think the one thing is like everybody points out the humans look terrifying, but like I mean, you know, you can chalk that up to they weren't like there was no standard. There was no don't. I was gonna make a reference.
Well, there's a reason they made the movie about toys.
Yeah, because
let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a quote because I bet everybody here knows about the famous Pixar lunch, where they would bring up like other movies and stuff, and someone narrated over. I'm not gonna say their username because reasons. They made a joke saying like when they were talking about it, they said, "What if bugs were easier to animate than toys?" And you know that's how we got Bugs Life. But yeah, I love the animation of this movie. Obviously, we can all sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, the animation's good here," but like you know when Toy Story 2 came out, they really started getting it top notch, and then Toy Story 3. Don't even get me started on Toy Story 3 and 4. They look gorgeous, you know. But yeah, I love the visual style of this movie, even though it is a little dated. It's not that big of a deal to me.
I think Toy Story 1 is unfairly maligned for its visual fidelity. I think it holds up a lot better than a lot of people will often give it credit for, and I believe the reason why is because they embraced the constraints of the technology they had available to them at the time, so that it could be looked back upon in 30 years and still look just as charming as it did in 1995.
Yeah. And
even though this could have easily just been a movie with like revolutionary technology that everybody just notes for said revolutionary technology, but the movie has its own legs to stand on just as a script and a story with characters.
Yeah, like that's if it was only coasting on how amazing it looked live, no one would talk about it today. I mean, they talk about it, but only in the sense that like future movies would never have been as an event in cinematic history without which future films could never have been made. But it wouldn't still be remembered as fondly as it is if the story and characters weren't so good.
Yeah,
that's the main thing people will think back upon. I mean, of course, I didn't see it in 1995. I didn't experience this, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. I don't know what it was like to have my mind blown in a way where I had never seen. I have never existed in a world where CG animation wasn't at the forefront of the industry. I have no life experience of what that was like. So maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this, but I imagine that when people look back on seeing Toy Story in theaters, they probably are primarily going to be remembering the big character scenes and the payoffs and Woody and Buzz working together and how that character arc made them feel emotionally. I don't think the main thing that people will think back on with Toy Story, even another 30 years from now, is how amazing the technology was at the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you see people talking about the movie Avatar as a comparison, you only just see it like, wowie zowie, it looks so cool.
Yeah. Like
why'd you sound like Cool Cat there?
I was about to say, you sound like Quagmire.
Why did I do a Mr. Meeseeks voice for that?
It is also very telling because I think, obviously, I want to kind of segue real quick. I want to talk about the soundtrack because we have been talking about the visuals throughout most of this episode. But yeah, we didn't even bring up, like, probably one of the most, I guess, I know a lot of people rate You Got a Friend of Me really high up there, but man, Toy Story has just a really good soundtrack. Like, I mean, You Got a Friend of Me is obviously
it's a musical, iconic. Oddly enough. Just none of the actual voices in the songs are the character. I mean, the voices are from the character's perspective.
It's just like in Tarzan,
where
it's somebody's voice who sings all the songs.
Yeah, it brings you into the characters' heads without breaking. It feels very natural. It's like the songs are the manifestation of what is inside of what the characters are thinking about at that given time.
Yeah.
without having the characters literally burst out into song, which would I don't think would have really fit the tone of the movie if they did that.
Oh my god, could you even imagine Tom Hanks and Tim Allen trying to do a duet together?
Oh no, I don't want to imagine.
Well, it's funny. It is weird I say that because they do literally break out into song at the end of Toy Story 2, but they earn that. And the reason they earn that is because Wheezy was set up as having a broken squeaker. So then at the end, when he grabs that microphone and takes the stage, like, oh fuck yes, absolutely, you're gonna do a musical number right now. But that's the only, and also the end of. Then also the end of Toy Story 3 when they put on the music and Buzz and Jessie finally get to actually share a romantic dance, like that. They are very careful about using songs like that, and they earn it each time they do it.
Do we not bring up Toy Story 4?
Okay. The movie isn't jam-packed with songs.
No, we're not.
All the time anyway. It has the perfect amount, only in the scenes that need it. Can you imagine how weird it would be if there was a song at the gas station about how Woody and Buzz don't get along? No, that scene wouldn't work in that context. You just need to see how the actual characters are treating each other directly in that moment.
I think if I was to say most of the soundtrack, it's really good because it's always tone set, and I like it when they do that, because if they played honestly, one of my favorite moments in the movie is when Buzz Lightyear watches that ad on the TV where it's like, Buzz Lightyear! And it's this rambunctious, loud commercial. And then it goes from that to
the world's greatest superhero!
Yeah.
Now the world's it's like the welcome to the bakery, let's make a car!
Yeah, it's that.
What I really love about that commercial is that the sound effects are totally fabricated, much like a real toy commercial would be. We know what Buzz's, all the buttons, everything on Buzz's chest, the buttons, what they sound like, what his wings popping out sound like, because we heard them happen before. And they all sound way cooler in the commercial than they do on the toy itself.
Yeah.
I also just like the detail that what it's supposed to be instead of what it apparently actually is. The Lightyear brand is clearly supposed to be a parody of Star Wars in universe.
Yeah, and then.
Oh yeah, wouldn't you? Isn't it kind of strange? Isn't it just a wee bit weird how if this is apparently supposed to be a toy from a movie called Lightyear, wouldn't you think they'd have mentioned that at some point in the commercial? Wouldn't you think that would have popped up?
Why would you make a Buzz Lightyear movie and try to make it serious? That's the antithesis of what the brand is built up as being in the fucking universe. It's a fucking Star Wars parody.
Not anymore.
Dude, could you even imagine how much material they'd have to work with if they made an actual Lightyear movie now that the Star Wars prequels and Disney's movies with The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker are out?
But see,
they would have so much to work with if they wanted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
somehow Zurg returned.
Yeah, or some shit like that. And I mean, I don't know. I never really cared for Star Wars, but it's quick bring back. One of the things about Toy Story 1's soundtrack that I also really like is the fact that Randy Newman. Am I pronouncing that right? Randy Newman? Yeah.
Randy Newman.
Randy Newman.
He has 2 songs in there, and obviously everybody's like, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Everybody loves that song. I love that song. You love that song. We all love it. But I think I actually prefer the song that plays. I can't remember I don't know what it's called, but it's no.
I will go sailing no more.
Yeah, I will go sailing no more. I like that. I like it so much. I forgot the name. I like that song a lot. I think
it's so emotionally impactful.
Yeah, especially whenever you have that to infinity and beyond, and then just the music swells into he wasn't gonna make it, and then he crashes onto the ground, and then the music slowly pans out.
I look very fondly upon that moment because it's the moment when I really felt something for the first time watching Toy Story. because when I was a kid, if you asked me to like I always love these movies, but if you asked me to really explain to you why, I don't think I could have told you, because I would have been too young to have any kind of a critical why these movies work so well and why they were resonating so strongly with me. But when I sat down to make my Toy Story 4 series and I rewatched the whole Toy Story series in preparation for that, I hadn't really watched those movies. I can't even remember how long it had been since I had sat down to watch the Toy Story movies, but it was certainly the first time I was doing it as an adult. And because of that, it really was like I was experiencing them for the first time again, because now that I was an adult, I was able to extract a lot more value out of scenes like when she loved me from Toy Story 2, or in Toy Story 1, the I will go sailing no more scene, and thinking about that in the context of an adult's life and everything I talked about in my Toy Story 4. That's the reason why that was such a big part of the Toy Story 4 series, is because that was a moment that it really, really hit me hard when watching the movie again for making that series. It was like the moment when I was like, oh, this is way more impactful and way more sophisticated than I thought it was. There was so much more emotional depth and nuance going on behind the scenes here. And so I always look very fondly upon that scene.
Yeah, it helps that To Infinity and Beyond is just a perfect line. Just and it's also nice that, like, during the climax when they're flying, Woody says it, because like he's fully embraced Buzz and like that, fully
become friends at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, was saying like you're not fully satisfied. The emotional arc is not completed until Buzz gets to fall with style. But that's the really important thing, is that Buzz is the one who says he's falling with style. Woody's the one who says that they're flying, and that they're flying to infinity and beyond, which is the exact inverse of what it was earlier.
Yeah. Okay.
I also like that they land in Andy's car, because if they had landed on the bus, he would have been depressed for that entire car ride.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not aiming for the truck.
Yeah, we're not aiming for
Dude,
the truck.
Could you even imagine if they went past the truck and then still missed Andy's car?
Get crushed by the truck, like it's like, oh, well.
Well, no, they would have teleported behind the first wheel.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They would have been fine.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
they would have no clipped into the back. Okay, so now I think it's about time that we talk about what
we forgot about Strange Things Are Happening.
Huh?
We forgot about the other song. Strange things are happening to me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
And also the biggest question of the movie: why is Molly in the front seat?
Because Andy's mom is a bad parent.
Yeah, they grow up fine. They grow up fine. I want to know, do you guys want to talk about the Black Friday reel?
Yeah, totally. I'm on board.
All right, let's real quick discuss.
Sure.
Let's real quick talk about the Black Friday reel. So I don't know. By the time of us recording this, I don't because we're recording this on August 12th, about to be August 13th. I have to ask.
For me, it is August 13th.
Okay, well, you guys are ahead of me in time. Anyways, so I have to ask. There hasn't been any more found of the Black Friday reel. Like, they only showed off a little bit of it, or did they show off more? Because I don't know.
Here's the thing. Pixar is so embarrassed by the Black Friday reel. I don't think you're going to see any more than what they. Just that one scene where Woody physically throws Buzz out the window instead of accidentally getting knocked out.
Never.
And I kind of can't blame him, because like the thing is, if it is as repulsive as everyone says it was, and judging by the one clip we got, I can believe it. I don't think you really need to see any more than what we've already seen to understand why it would have been a horrible, horrible movie if they actually went with that version of the story.
Yeah,
dude, 3D animation probably would not. 3D animation would have been like seen as bad for because of that.
Like, I really don't think people fully understand how different the world of entertainment looks, specifically the world of animation looks, if Toy Story didn't succeed. If it was terrible and everyone hated it, we're looking at a very different world right now, were it not for that.
We'll talk about
also another. I mean, also just the clip on YouTube begins with John Lasseter as well, so that's.
I wanted to.
To answer your question, Caroline, it says on the Disney Wiki only 2 minutes of the rough cut reel is currently available, making most of this work lost media.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering, and like with the idea of like, oh well, it'll probably never be shown. Never say never. We never thought we were going to see the Backyardigans original pilot, and literally like we found it.
Oh.
Have you seen it? Like it.
I mean, well,
it used to be a stage play.
So, I am totally unaware of any of that stuff. Like, I know that people were talking about it recently, but even though I did love the Backyardigans when I was a kid, I still have respect for that show. The notion of an original pilot, that was totally news to its discovery was the first time I ever knew. So I don't really know enough about that situation to properly comment on it. But the distinction I would highlight between, assuming I'm not missing vital information, the distinction I would highlight between the Backyardigans pilot and Black Friday reel is that I don't think anyone is embarrassed by the Backyardigans original pilot. It's more just like, this was a test, like, that never saw, this is like a test version of it that never saw the light of day and was ultimately replaced by the more commonly regarded and accepted CG animated show that aired on Nick Jr.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Black Friday reel, Pixar hates it, and they don't want you seeing it because they are so repulsed by what they made at the hands of Disney's notes.
Yeah.
And so, like, I imagine it was even an uphill battle to get them to release what they did for the Blu-ray and the DVD.
Yeah, it's bad when John Lasseter, of all people, is repulsed by it.
Well, the only reason why I brought it up was because it was more of like, it was like all we had to go off of was there was like one screenshot, and then like a couple then they found like a loop of like a GIF of it or something, and then like they found it like not too long after that. And the only reason why I bring it up is because obviously they will never release it because they are, as you said, they are very much they do not like it. And that's valid. It's just always like, never say never. Maybe one day we will actually get like maybe more storyboards, maybe more acted out segments. Who knows? And I feel like it's fine that the Black Friday reel kind of, along with some of the other ideas with this movie, kind of got shelved or taken out back and shot with a double barrel. Shelved.
Or you could have said tied to a firework and launched into orbit.
Yeah, firework or anything. The only reason why I wanted to talk about the Black Friday reel... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Place your bets.
Okay.
All of Sailor Mouth or the Black Friday reel?
I think some of Sailor Mouth has been found uncensored.
No, I said all. The entire uncensored version.
Yeah. I also think, I'm not... The idea of lost media does intrigue me, so I don't... Maybe I'm not going to be... Maybe I'll be using these terms incorrectly. But when I think of lost media, I think of something where it's like, no one knows where the media you're searching for exists. Like, where no one knows where to even begin looking for it, because the studio that made it has been shut down, and there is no readily available archives to search for, so you just kind of have to piece it together off of fragmented bits of information until you eventually find one guy somewhere in the world who made a backup copy that can be released. Whereas with Pixar, it's like, we know where it is. It's at Pixar. They have an archive of everything they've ever done. So
would secret media be a better word?
It's more like condemned.
Maybe I don't.
Media? Condemned.
I don't know how I would categorize it. I guess the point I'm making is more so it's like the barricade between us and watching something like the Backyardigans pilot is lack of knowledge. People didn't know where it was, where to look for it, how to find it. Whereas with the Black Friday reel, the barricade there is just an unwillingness to release it. We know where it is.
Or
if they wanted to, we would see it.
or like Pixar has to go through what Sony did back in like the early 2010s and get hacked, and then like someone releases all the files, and they're like, "Here it is, guys. The entirety of the Black Friday week," because like they did that, and that's how Spider-Man Cinematic Universe got fucking killed. Y'all remember that when they were gonna start that with Andrew Garfield? Haha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that got killed.
Imagine if the Black Friday rule was like. Imagine if the Black Friday rule was like some sort of special feature on like a DVD. I mean, I don't think DVDs are. Unfortunately, I don't think DVDs are the norm anymore. But imagine if it was like some special feature on a DVD or like an extra disc if you bought.
Like the collector's edition or something. Yeah. No.
Yeah, like that.
I'm very intrigued to see what the Black. I mean, they'll never show it. They'll never release it. I'm not going to hold my breath. But I don't know. I am always a little bit more like, oh, what if like one day they're like, hey, fuck you guys, let's show it off. I mean, it's kind of like how Star Wars has that.
But yeah, like
what was it? There was like they made like a special with
the holiday special.
No. They made like a special version of like Star Wars, but
you mean the original versions of each movie?
Well, they have
what would be really funny is if Pixar's the way they celebrate Toy Story's 30th anniversary is releasing it on. That would be funny.
Yeah,
that would be really, really funny if they just released it out of nowhere.
They released it on Black Friday.
I mean, here's the thing. It would be a cool novelty, but honestly, it would just be miserable to watch because even just from the small snippet we get, Woody's a character you don't even want to see get better as a person. You just want to see him fucking die.
You just want to see him get blown up with that rocket. Again, it's always a curiosity thing. Sorry, go ahead, Trevor.
I was going to say, I'm the one who should be strapped to that rocket.
Shut up, boss! I'll kill you! Wait, what was that thing? I never actually saw that meme. I just knew it was a meme.
What
was the context of that?
The shut up buzz?
Yeah, it's not really relevant. It's not relevant.
It's just a stupid rap song. That's all it is. It's just a stupid rap song. And all I know is that Tom wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all I know is that people were spamming that at me in the Discord server, and I made a point to never ever listen to it.
Valid.
I'm pretty happy with that choice.
You're not missing.
Sorry, I didn't know.
That's all good. So, we've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else we want to talk about in regards to Toy Story?
Well,
me and Caroline were gonna bring this. Brought this up before we started.
What's up?
You know what it is, right?
What? Sorry,
That being our predictions for Toy Story 5.
Yes!
Oh,
I had that. Okay,
okay,
hold on.
No.
Yeah, I can't. Hold on. Okay, I was gonna bring up something else, but we could start with what we think of. Okay, what do we think about Toy Story 5? Look, okay, I'm not gonna lie. Everything that goes to 5, I'm always like, okay, this ain't gonna be good. Okay, and it's like, oh, how could you say that? Well, the fact that Captain America 5 fucking reeked, that's a clear indicator right there for me.
Captain America 5? What happened? Where did that come from? Where was Captain America 5?
Because Brave New World I consider 5 because Falcon and the Winter Soldier I consider 4.
Oh,
it's just a disjointed.
Okay.
Well, Caroline.
That's just
Caroline. Clearly, you haven't seen the Sharknado series. Sharknado 5 is the next one.
I am not watching Sharknado 5.
No.
You could.
No, thank you.
You could put that.
One was enough for us.
Yeah, you can put that to bed, where it belongs. It's tired. It's anyway.
Sorry, I have to show Trevor this poster while he's in the chat. Just fucking look at this. This is.
Oh my god.
This is a movie.
Don't torture the poor man. Oh god.
About exactly
time travel at the end, by the way.
Anyways, okay, so Toy Story 5. There's a lot of people who are excited for Toy Story 5.
I do have a small hope that it's good, but based on the material we have now, it's just like, oh god, this movie's gonna suck so bad. I can't bear it. I mean, I was still watching in theaters, of course, since it's Pixar, but
I feel like I'm like fighting a battle all by myself, trying to convince people that this movie could actually be good and it has a fighting chance. But really, I'm kind of like, I don't even believe myself anymore when I say that, because kind of just I'm like, I'm just blindly I need it to be good more so than I believe that it will be good. I need to believe for my own sanity's sake that Toy Story 5 is going to actually be something worthwhile and end the series on a better note than Toy Story 4 did.
I hope that too.
It's
just the two things that are holding it back for me are how they're going to handle the toys versus technology thing in the fucking Buzz Army. It's like, oh, why?
Also, Woody shouldn't even be there. Woody shouldn't even be there. But also, Trevor, I just want to say, yeah, you can't even. You're not even going to be able to watch the movie, and if it's good, you won't even be able to walk away satisfied, because every time you walk away from a Pixar movie and are satisfied within the past couple years, you've always been stabbed in the back.
Yeah. It's like you brace for the impact. Because with Inside Out 2, it's like, oh, what an incredible sequel! It's so much better than it has any right to. I hope nothing bad happens, and then immediately after we find out that it was horrific development cycles we've ever seen for a Pixar movie that people
Make Riley less gay.
Make Riley less gay, laying people off before the movie comes out so they can't collect their bonuses. Crunch beyond belief. Everything about it was wrong from top to bottom. Then Elio comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was surprisingly pretty good. I would recommend people go see this. It's a shame it's gonna fail because plot twist. Turns out the movie that got released isn't at all the movie that Adrian Molina.
Of course,
in fact, he was laughed out of the by two other people who had no understanding of it. And in fact, the new version of the movie they tried to create was so bad that people that were originally on the Elio crew left in solidarity because they were so offended by the new version of the movie. Every time I think of Elio now, I'm gonna be like, well, now this is tainted. It's stolen valor. I don't care. I'm gonna always. It's forever tainted by the knowledge that what we ended up. And I usually am not the kind of person who wants to be like, well, what might have been? What would things have looked like in an alternate reality where, for instance, Circle 7 made Toy Story 3 instead of Pixar? What would that have looked like? I had a whole section.
Yeah.
But specifically with Elio, I am the kind of person who thinks about what might have been because of the specific context in that it was born out of a single person's creative vision based on his own personal life experiences, and then he was told by a corporation, basically, pack up, go home, you're through, and he apparently left the project. Whether he did it of his own accord or if he was reassigned to Coco 2 by Disney, I don't know, but either way, he was off the project and replaced by people who set out with the express purpose of fundamentally shifting and altering what, like, it's not his story anymore. It's the same damn thing that happened with Brave.
See,
where
you'd think they would have learned.
No.
You think they learned after firing their first ever female director?
Wasn't she replaced?
No.
Yeah. I was gonna say this movie feels like Toy Story 5 feels like it's going through the same problems as Avengers Doomsday, which is coming out next year. And like I have been hugely following Doomsday for. I mean, these two know I love the X-Men a lot, and I have been very much acutely aware about who they're bringing back and why they're going to be coming back, what time this movie might theoretically be taking place. And, you know, Logan's my... Okay, you know what? The top 10 movies are going to be out by this. Logan is my favorite movie of all time. Just FYI. I love that movie a lot. So, like, you know, them bringing back everybody but Hugh Jackman, you know, I'm fine with, depending on what the fuck's going to be happening. What I am saying is, though, like, currently right now with Marvel, they're not finishing their fucking scripts. Like, they Mystique's actor was literally asked if she was done filming, and she said, "I don't know. They're not finished with the script." And I'm like, what the fuck you mean you're not finished with the script?
So it's like Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Where they were animating and writing at the same time.
Yeah, but like what makes it even worse is the fact that apparently Pedro Pascal is also done working on he's also done. He left. Like he didn't leave. Like he's not coming back, but he left filming and he said that he was done there because he has to go film another movie. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that Pedro Pascal's in a lot of movies, but I don't really care. I'm just saying, I feel like what's happening at Disney is happening everywhere. Like at Pixar, at Marvel, at Lucasfilm, at Natural Geographic. Maybe this is also happening with Hulu. It's crazy to me that like this is happening at possibly the biggest. No, fuck that. Is the biggest like studio in America. Like Disney is like the most profitable company. I mean, you can argue other companies, but like entertainment-wise, they are. And you're telling me they can't release like high-quality movies without fucking someone over in the process? Like what the hell? Sorry I'm getting mad about this.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
You're never. You're not really gonna be able to convince a CEO to cut their own salary.
Unless you're Satoru Iwata.
Well, yeah, Iwata's the exception.
Yeah, I miss Iwata. Anyways, I
am very nervous about Toy Story. Not this. The movie itself, I have confidence in. If for no other reason than I need to believe that it's going to be good, I still am like, I just need. We all need something to believe in, and right now my something to believe in is Toy Story 5 being good. But as far as like I'm... Yeah?
I was just gonna say, you're like Slinky, holding on to the hope that Woody's not a murderer.
Kind of, yeah. It's... The movie itself I'm not explicitly worried about yet. I think the first trailer will be telling, and I don't know when you guys are this, but, the first trailer might be out by now, for all I know. But yeah. I think the first trailer.
We're planning to release this on November 19th, I believe.
I got my schedule sheet pulled up. Yeah, sorry, roadmap. That's what I call it, because that's basically what it is. What I was gonna bring up along with that is, I know I want to keep bringing up the Avengers stuff, but it's like, Toy Story has so much writing on it because. No matter what we think about Toy Story 4, like, they haven't had a real big fuck-up yet. Like, Toy Story 4 still did incredibly well, and so did, Lightyear didn't do very well, but, I'm trying to think of all the ones that did well. Like, Toy Story 4 did well.
To be fair, Lightyear's a spin-off series, so if you want to, it's not even within the same line as Toy Story.
Yes.
So.
No one considers Lightyear to be a Toy Story movie. In fact, most people don't even remember Lightyear happened.
Yes.
The characters of Woody and Buzz were in no way tainted by the efforts of Lightyear. So I think
So could we actually send someone back in time to stop Lightyear from being made?
Oh, yeah, just do that.
The general perception of Toy Story is still extremely high. Like but if you leave the internet echo chamber for a bit and you talk to normal everyday people in the real world, you'll quickly discover that most people tend to only think two things about Toy Story 4. They either kind of like it or are lukewarm on it, or they refuse to watch it because the first three ended so perfectly that they just don't want to ruin it for themselves. They're like, why would I watch the fourth one when the trilogy ended so perfectly? So it's not like, most people don't have a very strong hatred for Toy Story 4. So as far as the general public is concerned, and it's for that reason that people are like, I really am curious how this is going to play out, because when Toy Story 4 was announced, everyone was unanimously in agreement, like, this is a terrible idea, what are you doing? It ended perfectly at 3. But then Toy Story 4 came out and made $1 billion, well-reviewed and all that stuff, and now it feels like we're just looping in time again, because Toy Story 5's announced, and everyone's like, why would you do the ending? And it's like,
I guess Toy Story's the new Terminator, or Jurassic Park, or The Simpsons.
Like
I've played these. I've played these games before. I know how this ends. It's gonna make $1 billion, and it's probably gonna be unless it's uniquely terrible in a way that no one could possibly expect. I do not expect Toy Story 5 to do anything else than extremely high numbers for Disney. I expect that it'll be highly well regarded and well received.
It's
hey, we don't know. We don't know Woody's not going to turn into a serial killer,
and we don't know.
I mean, the chances of that happening are like less than 0.1%, but
I have
it could happen.
That like it feels like 2026, like next year, and then 2027 to an extent feels like it's kind of like an end of a weird Renaissance-esque thing, where it feels like, how do I explain this? It feels like a lot of movie franchises are coming to their story end, like to where this is where if they fuck up, they'll probably just stop doing it. Like for example, Toy Story, Shrek, Spider-Man is getting a fourth movie. Avengers is getting their what?
They already had the perfect end.
Exactly. But like it feels like what they're doing is they're continuing it, and they're just kind of testing the waters to say, okay, is this IP still able to make us a lot of money? And with Toy Story, I feel like that's a yes. With Avengers, come the fuck on, it's Avengers. But then again, the last Avengers movie was damn near like 5 years ago. So like, you know, it's just something I was thinking about with Toy Story 5.
No.
Because
what if the I hate to say it, what if they decided to make just like an endless stream of live action How to Train Your Dragons, since they already made one?
I heard that one was actually pretty good. I haven't watched it.
It was just the exact same script. It was literally just an uglier version of the original movie. There's nothing to praise here.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Now I want to go watch it more.
It's like fucking Biff telling George McFly he needs to rewrite the essay in his own handwriting.
Oh.
God, it's also depressing.
I know. I didn't really want to get depressing with Toy Story or like with just Hollywood as it is. Next year I'm gonna be extremely busy next year, trying to go watch every single one of these movies, because I'm gonna go watch Shrek in theaters, because you know I love me the Green Ogre. I'm gonna go watch the Avengers and stuff. From what they shown of Spider-Man, I'm just saying it looks like they're cooking, but there's only one way to find out. After how much many people seem to have flipped their opinions on No Way Home, which I get it. It's very much not a perfect movie, but I'm just saying. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen next year with all these big movies. Isn't Avatar also coming out next year? I know this year we're getting an Avatar, but aren't they making like another one next year? Like,
I can't keep track of all the things James Cameron is shitting out on a yearly basis. It's all who cares? It's the blue. The only Avatar I acknowledge is the animated.
Yeah, the animated.
I don't care about the blue.
Should we talk about what we actually expect to happen in Toy Story 5?
Yeah.
I expect that it's going to be split into two storylines. One storyline will be Woody and Bo out in the world. They encounter buzzes. Their plot will either involve dealing with them, or they're gonna bump into them on the way back to Bonnie's house. And then you have the other plot, which is Jessie and the other toys dealing with the stupid leapfrog iPad thing.
Oh hell yeah!
And
Roxy just had a stroke.
3 the game console wasn't alive in Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Nor was the game console in Toy Story. This is the problem. It's like if you're making it that technology is alive, are you saying that like people's phones are alive, the computers they use, the game consoles? Like where?
Oh no!
Stop fucking doing
Toy
this.
Story?
Where's stuff anymore?
Does Toy Story take place in the Terminator universe? Film theory video.
God. Oh God. I'm not. I just like because.
No, I didn't. No, this is how Skynet got started.
Oh, where's Hype No Space when you need
self-aware.
it? This is gonna be so. It's gonna be such a mess. Here's my hope. I'm hoping that all it does is it kind of just is a fun ride. I just hope it's a fun ride that I can just look at and just go, okay, that's a movie. And, you know, maybe reverse the ending of Toy Story 4, I guess, because I don't really care for the ending of Toy Story 4. If they literally just ended how Toy Story 3 ended it, I would have been like, okay, you're just doing it again. But okay, at least you ended it.
We're going off the concept art. We know Toy Story 4 isn't decanonized because, I mean, not that I would want them to decanonize it because that would be the coward's way out. But we know that Toy Story 4 isn't decanonized because Forky was, I mean, I guess it could be subject to change, but in the concept art they showed for marketing purposes, Forky was still there. So that would mean, but Woody was also there, which would mean that, so he had to have come back somehow.
Well, it's more than that. Not only is he there, but he also still missing the sheriff's badge that he gave to Jesse at the end of Toy Story 4, which is a clear as day indicator that it is our Woody who is back. But the question is he going to be there at the beginning, or is he going to is it going to be like the way I envision it happening right now is that the movie starts. I don't think they'll open the movie with Woody and Buzz and Bonnie's room. I don't think they'll do that. I think that they'll start with them. They'll start in Bonnie's room, and then the leapfrog tablet will show up and fuck things up, and then Jesse's gonna be like, "Oh no, we need Woody," and they'll hard cut to Woody and Bo living life and doing things, and then they'll bump into the Buzzes along the way, and then a bunch of shenanigans will go wrong, and then maybe they'll have Woody and Buzz meet up as like the big emotional reunion at the end of the second act. That'll be the second act low point that's offset by the emotional reunion of the two of them finally meeting up again. And then they'll all get back together for the big third act showdown where they fight the army of 50 fucking Buzz Lightyears and whatever stupid shit that's gonna happen. Look, okay? I truly don't care.
Yeah, how would Leapfrog and the Buzz Army tie into each other?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea what they're cooking. It is really just blind faith in Andrew Stanton and a desperate belief that on principle he's gotta have some master plan, and this is all part of an ingenious IQ chess play to throw people off the scent, and there is some other way he's going to tie everything together that makes thematic sense and is actually really emotionally moving. Not because I have any tangible evidence to believe that's what he's doing. I have enough faith in him, but I don't believe he would settle for anything less. But truthfully, I don't care how stupid the movie ends up being and how dumb the plot is. I honestly don't. All I care about is Buzz treated like the smart character that he is? Is Jesse given ample screen time, which it seems like they're going to do. It seems like they're going to let Jesse take the spotlight again. They at least learned from that mistake from Toy Story 4. And then the big one is, what are they going to do with Woody? Are they going to get him back to Bonnie's house? Are they going to get him away from Bo? Are they going to all come back to Bonnie's house? What are they going to... I really don't know. Because I don't foresee a future where Toy Story 5 just ends with everything as they were. Because every Toy Story movie up to this point, since Toy Story 3, has changed the status quo in some radically significant way. I feel like if you're gonna go a step past Toy Story 4, you have to do something that makes it feel worthwhile. I really, truly, in my heart, do not believe that Pixar, or at least Andrew Stanton, would be content with a movie that just kind of resets everything back to status quo and doesn't make any attempt to meaningfully change the world. I just don't believe. I don't see them being happy with that.
I don't see them being happy with that either, because it's just it'd be like what was the point of this movie? Because like, I mean, I'm gonna keep looping back to your D23 video. As you said, they're not Illumination. They're not to an extent DreamWorks. They have their priorities set on the idea that whatever happens in this movie is what happens in this movie. And like that offsets everything. When you tell a story and it's in a series, many people would say it needs to have an impact, and I agree with that idea 12-fold. That it needs to have an impact. It needs to do something. You can't just, again, a vapid sequel, fine, whatever. Do a stupid sequel. I don't care. But if you are Toy Story, you can't do that. I'm sorry. You just
different expectations for a series as legendary as Toy Story.
Yeah, and especially something as iconic as the 5th entry in a series that many people regard as probably the best in animation history, that continues even today. Even if you ask anybody, they would say Toy Story 3 is still a good movie. So you have really, really high expectations for the 5th one, especially after how bad Lightyear was, how some of how Pixar's original movies have been doing, so on, so forth. That's what I'm trying to get at. You can't just release a sequel and be like, all right, that's all. That's it, folks. That's all, folks. Like they're going to have to show something. Like,
truthfully, I think the worst possible outcome for Toy Story 5 is if the credits roll and I'm sat there thinking, what was the goddamn point?
Yeah.
If it just feels like another aimless, meandering adventure with greater thematic purpose, I think that might actually piss me off the most, is if nothing of value is accomplished by the end. Like, if you're going to go to all this trouble, spend this much money and this many years making a further continuation, because then nobody's happy. Mm-hmm. Not only are you going to piss off the people who love Toy Story 4, because then they're going to feel like, why did you even... Now, you've sullied the original ending because you didn't do anything. You tacked another movie onto the end and you're going to piss off people like me who fucking hate how Toy Story 4 ended, because then you gave them a chance. You gave them hope that they might do something to fix it, and then they didn't do anything. No one is happy if you just make another episodic Illumination. I call it cope, call it naivety, call it blind faith, call it whatever you want. I don't believe Pixar would do it. I really don't believe Pixar would be willing to do that.
Yeah. You know, I actually just thought of this. You know what would be a cool, an interesting direction to take this? Made it so that Leapfrog, like, ended up not being the big bad evildoer who needs to be taken down or whatever. But what if they made it like a case of what if they made it a case of, like, needing to learn how to be a better parent? Like, you can't just give a kid a tablet and tell them to shut up.
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean? What if that was the idea? I mean,
that would actually be good.
Yeah. The question is, would Pixar be willing to do that? Because, mind you, the lead producer, or not the lead producer, what the fuck? The man who, wasn't it the man who found, it was Steve Jobs who was the man who founded both Apple and Pixar. Correct?
He was one of the co-founders.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like I don't see Disney being willing to take any kind of, like, anti-technology stance
on
with this movie.
Well, no, what I described wasn't anti-technology. It was just anti-using technology to parent your children.
What I mean, like, I'm in support of your idea. Is like I don't foresee them making Leapfrog the ultimate big bad, because if they do, and they don't, this is part of why I think that Andrew Stanton has to be cooking something else up behind the scenes we just don't know about yet. Because in addition to all the other reasons, Disney of all companies trying to tell me that technology is big evil, like, man, fuck off. What do you know who you are? You looked in the mirror recently, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? You're Disney. You're Disney. Fuckers. What are you talking?
We know technology's good. How else would Perry have stopped Doofenshmirtz?
I know we're all very cautious about what they're going to be cooking up behind the scenes. I'm very cautious. Sir, Roxy, Trevor, you're all very cautious. So, before we go to ranking Toy Story 1, I want to do a quick lightning round, giving scores from 1 to 10 on the sequels. Now, we're not going to go super deep. We did this with Guy. We did this when we talked about Plants vs. Zombies 1, and we're going to do it here. So we're going to start, we're going to just only include the movies. We're not including Small Fry because no one cares. Sorry, Small Fry. No, I'm not. Anyways,
oh no! There's going to be that one comment that's like, but what did you think of Rex?
10 out of 10.
We talked about it a little bit. We talked about what we think of Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's 10 out of 10 masterpiece. No other movie, nothing can ever surpass it. Anyways, okay. So we're gonna go down the line. We're gonna go to.
Dude, I like the part where Rex destroys the house.
Yeah, it just destroys the house, but like nobody knows why. Okay. So I'm gonna start with Trevor, and then we're gonna just quickly. I'm gonna go to Roxy, and I'm gonna go to Sir. I'm gonna ask you what you would give the movie out of 10, like 1 out of 10. We're gonna start with Toy Story 2. What would you give it? Trevor, go.
I don't do number scores, so I'll say it's 12 Wheezies out of 12 Wheezies. Sure.
Okay. 12 Wheezies out of 12 Wheezies. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a number score is subjective. That's why when I make tier lists, I don't label them with numbers or letters. I instead rate it as like incredible.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah,
we could do that.
I guess to give your listeners kind of a more insight, so like, because I know for a lot of people giving numbers to things is normal. I'm the odd one out there. The reason I don't give number scores to things is because two people can have a really in-depth conversation about a movie, agree on basically all the points, and still come away with two wildly different scores. Because they just what one person's 10 is another person's 8, and I just don't find it useful because everyone's scale is going to be slightly different, and I get a much more value out of hearing the points someone makes about a movie and the conclusion they reach. More so like that I learn a lot more of that than if I ask someone, what did you think of this movie? And they say, that's a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. But like what you decree to be a 6 might be the same metric I use to give something a 7 or an 8. Because some people
6
have
isn't an adjective.
Yes, like people have very different standards for what they ascribe numerical value to, though I just don't find it particularly useful as a metric system for grading things. It can be useful, like if you just want a quick, easy way to get a sense of how someone ranks things. Like, okay, you gave this a 6 and that a 5, so you must think that's better than that. But the other thing is that it's just like it gets because if I'm referencing back when I used to give numerical scores to things, I would have given Interstellar a 10, and I would have also given something like Aladdin a 10. And to some people, certain types of film fans, they might hear me say that and think, "What? So you're saying Interstellar and Aladdin are equivalent levels of quality and things like as well as Toy Story 3?" And I'm like, well, I don't know, man, because like Interstellar is this huge galaxy-spanning narrative and this really 3-hour epic space opera kind of thing, and then on the other hand you have a musical animated comedy in the form of Aladdin, and it's like, are those two comparable? You're really saying one same level?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think that for what each movie sets out to do, they do it fucking perfectly. And this is why numbers get confusing to people, because some people wouldn't put an animated musical comedy on the same, like, just inherently they would level of separation. Mm-hmm. Interstellar, the kind of movie that Interstellar is, and the kind of movie that Aladdin is. And so if you give both those movies a 10 on the basis of, did they achieve what they set out to do based on the type of movie that they are and the standards you would apply to be that type of movie, it just throws everything into chaos. So I'd rather just make points about each individual movie and conclude whether I think it's any good or not, rather than resorting to numbers. That's just my personal thing.
And also, given something a numerical from person to person, like one person might want to do it as like an analytical thing if they think a movie is well made regardless of whether or not they like it, and another person might do it on whether or not they like it. Like I gave Sharknado a 10 out of 10 on Letterboxd. I think it's fucking awful.
Yeah, well, okay, well then
like whether or not you think a movie's good is independent of how much you like it.
Okay, well, instead of giving number scores, we'll do this instead. Just one word per movie. So basically what we'll do is I'll say the movie, like Toy Story 2, and then we'll go down the row, and then you'll say like a movie, like one word that you think would perfectly describe how you feel about the movie. Like fantastic, amazing, fucking dumb as shit. Like, okay, you could just say like one sentence. There we go, that's better. Okay.
Okay, one sentence. I can work with one sentence.
Okay, Trevor? Toy Story 2, go.
The epitome of the perfect sequel.
All right. Roxy.
I think the exact same thing. Also, it keeps the humor. Wait, no, I'm going on too long. God damn it!
All right, sir. Sir.
It's everything you've ever wanted out of a sequel and more.
I was gonna do a Family Guy joke. This is my favorite animated movie aside The Incredibles. Okay, there you go. All right, Toy Story 3. We're gonna skip Trevor. We all know. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Trevor.
A love letter to Toy Story 3, parts 1, 2, and 3.
There you go. Roxy.
Phenomenal conclusion.
All right, sir.
My all-time favorite Pixar sequel ever.
Oh my god, dude! I gotta stop.
Are you gonna include?
Hold on. I'll tell you what I'm gonna.
Toy Story movie, but for the sake of it, can you?
Hold on. I gotta think. Hold on. Why is a daycare a concentration camp? 10 out of 10. Anyways, okay. Toy Story 4. We'll start with Game Magic again. Toy Story 4.
Well, it destroyed everything. And scene.
Alright. Roxy.
Cinematic equivalent of losing your rights.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, Roxy.
That's...
Sure, go ahead.
Alright, did I catch you all off guard with that one?
What the fuck? Sure, go ahead.
I can't even say I disagree. I'm just like, I never thought of it that way. But I guess that is kind of how I would feel.
Sir, go ahead.
Literal dog shit.
Okay. That's a good one. Straight to the bargain sale. Wait, shit. Bottom of the bargain bin.
Yard sale. The line was yard sale. Come on.
Shit. Yeah. Yard
Right
sale.
there.
Okay. Okay. Bottom of the yard sale. All right. One last one. Lightyear. Go ahead, Trevor.
Oh Jesus. The. Oh my god! It's the.
Oh, sorry.
The origin story of my depression.
Oh, nice. Where did it all start, Lightyear? All right, Roxy.
The exact opposite of what it needed to be.
Okay, sir.
Cinematic diarrhea.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. As you can tell, I'm not a Star Wars fan. At least it's better than the sequel trilogy. Okay. And that is...
No, I can't...
I had to. The joke was right there.
No, I can't even argue with that, because at least I can ignore Lightyear. The sequel trilogy... I mean, the sequel trilogy very much harmed one of my... literally my favorite villain in fiction. Scene.
Alright, well, to move on from that, final thoughts on Toy Story 1. We went around the globe for a while, but let's go back to where we all started. the Mattel shop that was gone in a buyout. That was purchased by Mattel for some reason. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna let Game Magic 13 go ahead. You two, aka Sirsplaysalot and Roxy, give your number scores, because we have to do number scores. I mean, we've already done it, so
Okay.
yeah. I mean, you can too, Trevor, if you want to, but you don't have to. Go ahead. floor is yours.
My brief final thoughts on Toy Story is that it is one of the most important films ever made, and in all the ways that matter, it aged a single day, and I believe it will still be captivating the hearts of children and adults 100 years from now, just as much as it did 30 years ago when it opened in 1994.
All right. Roxy?
Once again, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but like I'd give it a 10 out of 10 from like an enjoyment perspective, and I still think it's very strong. But I don't know.
You can give it a 10 out of 10. I don't care.
Very respectable, very well made. Fuck John Lasseter.
Okay. Sir?
9 out of 10. I like 2 and 3 more, but this one is still expertly made, given the time, budget, restrictions they all had.
Alright.
Still a fun watch to this day.
Cannot agree with you more. Still probably one of Pixar's best movies, even if you, I still rewatch this movie from time to time. It's kind of on the same level of Fantastic Four, the 2005 movie. I know a lot of people hate that movie, but fuck you people. It's a good movie. You just haters. Anyways, the movie itself is very fun. The characters are enjoyable. The music's really good. And, it still gets me, it still melts my heart from time to time. There's still, emotional depth. I'm going to give it, I was going to make a joke ending, but, I think I would also give it a 9 out of 10. I think 2...
Fantastic!
Say that again? Okay. Well, that was a lot. Before we...
That was a roller coaster of an episode.
How long do your podcast usually last, out of curiosity? Because I feel like I might have pushed you over.
Your usual runtime is around an hour and 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, this one...
I mean, the last one we recorded was like 4 hours long,
God,
so don't
remind
worry
me
about
of
it.
that one. Yeah, this episode's been going on for 3 hours, 25 minutes.
It was worst villains, and even though he wasn't on any of our lists, we decided to talk about Zurg at the end anyway.
It is funny because the guest episodes normally do push longer, so I'm fine with going a little bit longer on this one.
I'm fine with that, especially since, for the record, this whole episode was actually my idea.
Yep.
Because once you open the floodgates for guests... Oh, we can have guests there?
Yeah.
Oh, and if we were to have Trevor for just one episode, this would be it.
Unless he wants to.
Yeah, this would definitely be the one to get me for.
Yeah. So next time, we normally do next time, so let me just real quickly hit these off before we get off here for the night. Next episode, which will be on Wednesday, will be Top 5 Best Villains. Which we kind of already alluded to a little bit in this episode. So, hopefully you guys are all excited for that one. I know Sir very much was in that episode. We already recorded it. But, anyways, not only that, we also have the very huge special happening in December, Bat Month. Bat Month, which includes the Batman Marathon, including Batman 66, Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Dark Knight Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, The Batman featuring my good buddy Act the One. Then we're ranking all the Batman movies in a separate episode, and then ranking the Batmans themselves in their own episode. So stay tuned for that. That'll be the entire month of December, then we will be returning back to you guys for episode 36, which
sounds like the most...
What? Go ahead.
That sounds like the most masochistic plan I've ever heard. You're gonna watch all those shitty Batman movies in one...
Hey,
why would you do that to yourself?
Hey, there's some good...
Well, you know what,
Trevor,
at least I had the brains, because we're not doing anything else for December. I had the brains to plan Jingle All the Way for November.
Yep.
So
that was
I guess I can't say anything. I did do a giant Home Alone marathon where I watched like 4 horrendous movies in a row in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do tons of review marathons on Letterboxd.
I got the idea for next year for us to do. This is a horrible idea, by the way, but I thought it would be funny. I got the idea for us to do a fucking Harry Potter marathon next year.
I keep forgetting we're doing that. But we will be returning we'll be returning in we'll be returning next year. And don't worry, fans, we know that you all want to know. We will be talking about, for episode 36, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Episode 37, X2, X-Men United. Episode 38 will be Batman Arkham Asylum. And then episode 39 will be Plants vs. Zombies 2, which will have a returning guest, Guy Who Exists. Oh boy! We got a lot to do. Luckily, I'm going to bed and I have work in the morning. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Anyways, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Vulture Culture Podcast. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share.
Oh, you forgot to ask Trevor where we can find him.
Yeah, where can we find you?
I made a giant. Yeah, I made a giant 6-hour series about how much I hate Toy Story 4. You probably knew that already. I also made a giant 6-hour series about how much I love Toy Story 3. And a giant 8-hour video about how much I love the Owl House. I talk about things for a long time. I just have lots of things to say, and I'm going to keep having lots of things to say, probably for as long as I continue to make videos. Depending on... So you said this is going to go up on November 19th?
Yep.
Yes.
Then yeah, I guess the most upcoming thing you can look forward to is that on Toy Story's anniversary in a few days, I also have some plans to celebrate the movie turning 30 years old. So I suppose you can look forward to that. But yeah, that's next on the horizon. Thank you to everyone here for inviting me to talk about Toy Story today. It's always a blast to get to share my love and passion for this series with people. I will never get tired of doing it, even if it is 1:30 a.m.
Very late.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh yeah, of course. And as we stated, we don't know when we do sequel episodes. We're very much trying not to overload ourselves. But if we ever do decide to do Toy Story 2 or 3 or whatever the hell, we'll obviously ask you if you want to be on. That's fully up to you. I'm not trying to make you go live and be like, oh yeah, no, I'll do. I'm not trying to make you do that at all. Just saying, floor's always open for you to come back on, just like how we do for every other guest. If you want to find me, Roxy, or Sir, we have links down below. You can also find Gaming Magic 13's channel down below as well, but you probably already knew where he was, because you probably came over from his channel because you saw him in the title. We're actually capitalizing off all this, okay? I hope you know we're getting a huge check. No, I'm kidding. just being a huge
Trevor, Also, Trevor, just for the sake of letting you know, because this will be funny, Season 3 is starting with Stranger Things 3.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I will regrettably be sick on the day you record that episode.
Oh.
It's tough how that works.
Sucks.
No, I wasn't inviting you. I was just letting you know. Because it's funny.
We won't put you through that. This is my first time watching through Stranger Things, by the way. But we have a whole podcast episode about that. Haha, plug. Go listen to our episodes also on YouTube Music, because that's also we are available. We're trying to get a Spotify up, but right now it is hard. Thank you to Acta1 for all the amazing ideas that he has given me for this episode and Season 2 in general. You'll learn more about that as the weeks progress, or whenever episode 1 actually comes out. Thank you all for listening. See you all in the next episode of the Vulture Culture Podcast. Goodbye!
Goodbye!
I still got to say it, yes!